Indeed it is, and we are very, very happy this evening to be joining you live by the lakeside at Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium. Matt Davis along with Ian Griffin with you tonight, and to say that tonight here on Jerry Sharp Field is going to be a big night here for these two teams. This is just a huge game. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, region championship implications all over this game. Darlington, coming off a loss last week, has a chance to get back on track and put themselves in the conversation for this region. Indeed
they do, and of course when you look at the series history, Darlington leads this series 3-1. Last season the Tigers won on the road 21-6. Before that, in 2018, the Tigers would fall at home 21-35 was the final score in that game. In the previous 2 years, 2016 and 2017, went to the Tigers, and one of those wins, the one in 2016, was a really lopsided game. And so even though Darlington, in terms of wins and losses, has the lead in this series, been some tight games, and this is a team that comes to town with a lot of confidence. Talking about North Cobb Christian, they're 6-1, 1-0 in the region, ranked number 7 in the state in Class A private football, and they have a tremendous amount of confidence in what they do right now. So this is going to be a really, really tough matchup.
Yeah, and they have a lot of seniors and juniors, upperclassmen that are going to lead this team, running the triple option offense. They'll try to control the clock and keep the Darlington offense off the field, I would imagine. So they're going to have a solid game plan, and Darlington's going to have to be really, really sound gap control on defense if they're going to slow this offense down.
Indeed they do, and if you're a Georgia Tech fan and experienced the Paul Johnson era, as we did, both being Georgia Tech fans, and got to watch a lot of that option offense that features the triple option play that Paul Johnson is famous for, and all that goes along with that offense, there's so much that you have to account for, especially when you have a group that runs it as smoothly as this North Cobb Christian Eagles team does. In fact, right now, their offense is ranked number 6 in the state in Class A private football. So they've been doing a great job running that offense this year, and there's so much that you have to account for.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it is clicking, it is something to watch. So it's going to be interesting to see how Darlington comes out and who sets the tone first. I think the first punch is pretty important tonight.
I agree with you 100%, and that is certainly something that I know that Coach Athan, you're going to hear more about that in our pregame interview with Coach in just a little bit, has really been emphasizing over the last few weeks, because when you look at the course of the games over the season, there have been a lot of games where Darlington's kind of gotten off to a slow start, have had opportunities, haven't been able to capitalize on good field position, things of that nature throughout the games, kind of dug themselves a holes that they had to, get themselves out of, and they really haven't been in a position for much of the season where they've been playing out ahead. And in a game like this, when you've got a ball control offense like you have in North Cobb Christian, you just absolutely have to put yourself in that position.
That, and you've got to take advantage of the opportunities you get on offense, because, as you know, if they control the clock and run these 10 to 15 play drives and get scores, they're going to keep Darlington off the field. So when they do get the ball, they've got to get points.
Indeed they do. Well, we're going to talk more about that in just a little bit. But again, we are here and very excited to be back in the friendly confines at Chris Hunter Stadium tonight for you. It's a 7A private matchup between your Darlington Tigers versus North Cobb Christian Eagles. And just again, as Ian pointed out just a little bit ago, there are big-time playoff implications here. A win, and then, of course, you got to take care of business next week. But a win here takes you a long way towards getting that number 2 seed at the very least out of the region and getting to play your playoff game in the first round at home, which is absolutely huge. It's huge any year, but I think there's an added wrinkle because everything going on with COVID-19. You definitely want to get that game at home.
And it's hit as close as it's hit all season, with Mount Perrin and Heritage Christian's game being canceled tonight due to COVID. So, yeah, absolutely. If you can get a home playoff game, you always want one. But in 2020, that's just icing on the cake.
You got to get it. So this is a game that the Tigers really, really, really need to win tonight. And then there's some other things coming down the road. Obviously, North Cobb Christian and Christian Heritage still have to play. If Darlington beats North Cobb Christian, and then North Cobb Christian goes and beats Christian Heritage, well, then you would have a situation potentially with a three-way tie, and there's a tiebreaker, and we'll give the details on that a little bit. But the first thing you got to do is take care of business here tonight, and that's the only thing you have control of. The rest of it's out of your hands.
Absolutely. It's a big game. It's a big home game. You know the energy is going to be there tonight from the Darlington faithful, so it's going to be fun to watch, see how this one unfolds.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I was so excited about this game last night. It took me a little time to convince myself to wind down and go to sleep. This is going to be fun.
Well, it helped pass the hours to get right here, so we've just got a little longer to go, Matt, and it's going to be time for toe to meet leather.
It's about 25 minutes away. We're going to take a break here on the Darlington pregame show on WLAQ and also the Darlington live stream, and we're going to send it back to the studio for a timeout. Here's some words from our sponsors, which we really appreciate our radio sponsors making it possible for us to be here throughout the season to bring you these games. Let's mention them now. Floyd Medical Center, Honeymoon Bakery. We're going to have the icing on the cake player of the game at the end of the night. That's always fun. Riverside Auto Group, Avery Drugs, also Rome Orthopedic Center, and Ware Mechanical. And then after the game, along with the awarding of the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game, we're going to send you after that to the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. So a full night of high school football action tonight.
And some great games around the region outside of the one we're calling tonight, so it'll be fun to see those scores trickle in throughout the night.
Indeed it will. Well, we're going to go ahead and send it back to the studio for the aforementioned break. After that, we're going to hear from the head coach of the Darlington Tigers. Tommy Atha is going to join us and talk a little bit about last week's game, also talk about this matchup and the road ahead for the Darlington Tigers as we move closer to playoff time. We're going to send it back to the studio. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the coach.
Here, I'm becoming who I want to be.
Here, I am looking toward my future.
Here, we learn from our failures so that we may soon succeed.
Here, we're passionate about learning and trying new things every day.
Here, we search for new perspectives and cultures so we can better understand the world.
Because at Darlington, we know we're in the most trusted hands.
As we discover new passions and learn more about ourselves through academics,
Athletics,
Fine arts,
and service to our community, we show our versatility as we choose different pathways to our goals.
this is our home.
we embrace challenges and persevere, even when something seems impossible.
We collaborate and create to take our place in the world.
We know that together we can make an impact.
This is our moment, our time.
Graduates today, Darlington forever.
At Darlington, we find our confidence in discovering who we are.
In the classroom
and on stage.
The opportunities are endless.
Our creativity knows no bounds as we take risks,
explore opportunities,
and stretch our minds.
Together with our teachers,
we use what we've learned to create beauty,
to tell stories,
to inspire.
We discover new passions
while allowing existing ones to flourish.
We know that we can do anything,
be anything,
achieve anything.
We give our time to something greater than ourselves.
Whether we're sketching,
singing,
writing,
or acting, we find new ways to express ourselves
and share our talents with the world.
We know that our ideas and contributions matter,
and we take great pride in that.
Because today,
because today,
because today,
because today,
because today, tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
Indeed, we do. And again, we'll go ahead and reintroduce the fact that we are live by the lakeside at Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium. Matt Davis and Ian Griffin just chomping at the bit for this game to kick off and for toe to meet leather and things to get underway here tonight. I mean, this is one of those games, as Coach Atha pointed out in our pregame interview, this is what you prepare for. This is what you work hard for. You want to be in these moments, and when you get in those moments, you want to do everything you can to play as good as you can to come out with a win and move the season forward. So it's going to be interesting to see how the team responds. And you and I have been talking a lot, Ian, about how the team has played extremely well throughout the season, but there's not been a game where you felt like you've seen the best of the Tigers, the complete game of the Darlington Tigers, and it'd be really interesting to see that happen tonight against this North Cobb Christian team. And I don't know about you, man, there's something in the air tonight. I can feel it happening. I just really feel like the Tigers are going to put on their best performance so far tonight.
It'd certainly be great timing to play that complete game with this being the biggest game left on their regular season schedule. We've seen this offense play really good in spurts, and sometimes those spurts are half the drive, and then they hit some kind of brick wall, but they'll play really well for a quarter and a half, and then they'll hit a dry spell. Mostly, as Coach Atha mentioned in that pregame interview, it's been on the front end where they've kind of struggled to put the ball in the end zone and be consistent on offense. If tonight is that night, it couldn't come at a better time again, and if they could get a lead early, playing ahead of a team that runs this option offense is imperative.
Indeed it is, and of course one of the keys to the game is certainly playing assignment defense. Of course you have you got to account for the B-back dive, keeping the option pitch from burning you. Of course you got to watch out for the occasional play action pass, which you'll see with this type of offense. They'll lull you to sleep with those running plays and the pitch plays and whatnot, and then next thing you know, here's a big play off a play action pass, things like that. And this team executes this offense at a high level, so you really have to watch out for that, and it'll be interesting to see how the defense responds.
Yeah, there's a ton of wrinkles, and the teams that run this offense the best have backs that are really good at catching the ball out of the backfield, and like you said, you'll get that same pitch play, the dive, the pitch, and then all of a sudden play action, and they're burning you downfield with the running back just in open space. So you have to play really sound assignment football, and I think Darlington will be prepared for that, man. They've practiced all week. They're ready to come out. And this defense, they have played some complete games this season. They have played really well, and I expect nothing but the best from them tonight.
Well, the captains are about to make their way on the field here for the Darlington Tigers tonight. We'll go ahead and let you know who they're going to be. You're going to have Luke Lewis out there, also Christian McClooney. Harrison Allen is going to be one of the captains tonight, and then you will also have Mason McKenzie, and we'll give you the captains here in just a few minutes for the visiting North Cobb Christian Eagles as soon as they make their way out onto the field. But we're going to have the coin toss in just a few minutes, and we're going to know what's what in terms of that. So we're going to take one more break here on our pregame because we're going to have kickoff here in about 5 minutes. So we're going to take one more break. We'll come back. We'll have the coin toss and all that good stuff, and we'll get you ready for your Darlington Tigers and the North Cobb Christian Eagles here tonight by the lakeside at Chris Hunter Stadium. You don't want to go anywhere, folks. Get those chin straps buckled, as our buddy Steve Conrad would say, because toe is going to meet leather here in a few minutes. We'll be back. That's good. Well, we've just seen the coin toss. Darlington won the toss, and not a big surprise there that they've deferred to the second half. Kind of would have expected that would be the decision they'd make.
Yeah, absolutely. This defense has been strong all season, and I think every time they've won the toss, they've deferred.
I believe so. I didn't keep a record of that, but I don't remember a time where they've elected to do anything else but that this season. So not a surprise there. So we're going to get a look at this offense from North Cobb Christian, the Eagles first in this football game, and we are just about ready to go. We're about a minute away from the kickoff of the 9th game of the year and 9th game in a row, because obviously, as we've talked about throughout the season, Ian, first bye week was at the beginning of the year, and then there will be one in between the final regular season game, which is next week, and the playoffs. So 10 straight games in the regular season. That doesn't happen too often.
It sure doesn't. No, I mean, it's a first for us. I know that. So I'm sure it's a first for the Tigers as well. And this season has just flown by. And, again, we talked about it earlier. This is the biggest game left on the regular season schedule. This is a must-win. They've got to go out and get this win tonight, and I think you're going to see them play with a focus. I mean, they're always focused, but I think there's going to be a little bit extra behind this Tiger team tonight.
There is certainly that feeling, and especially I think because of the way the game went last week, that was another one of those close games that was within reach for the Darlington Tigers, came up on the short end, and they just don't want to be, and they didn't want to be in that position to begin with, but they do not want to let that happen again. They want to take control of this game early, so it's going to be really interesting to see how the tone is set in this football game.
And just a little side note before we get started, if you saw that really cool camera angle down there of the Tigers running out of the inflatable tiger, a young man by the name of Sam Fricks is doing some camera work for us. He's a student here at Darlington, so we appreciate him down there on the sidelines.
And every week, Dave and the gang up there, Joey, they're adding new wrinkles to the video feed. They're doing a tremendous job with that, and it's a lot of fun to work with those guys. And you're right, Sam is doing a great job already with that new addition. Well, we've got two men back here for the Eagles. You're going to have Briar Powers and then also Isaiah Williams. Isaiah is just a freshman, and he's been making some serious noise here for the Eagles so far this season. They have a lot of speed on this football team. Brinson Sumner has it teed up at the 40-yard line, and they get ready to run to the line of scrimmage, and we are just about set to go. Here comes the kickoff, and it's an onside kick attempt at the beginning of the game, and it looks like Darlington has got it and has the football. We'll see when they come up from the pile, but from the reaction of the team and the crowd, you would certainly assume that Darlington has it, and they do. How often do you see that?
Not often, but because we've been watching this team, that was a different formation, a wrinkle as far as the kickoff. And Brinson Sumner, they rushed to the line. Sumner put it in the perfect spot, and Darlington attacked the ball. As soon as it went 10 yards, they went up and snatched it. What a huge play to start the game and set the Darlington offense up with great field position at the Eagles' 44-yard line.
Indeed, and with 11:56 remaining here in the opening quarter, we've played the first 4 ticks. Darlington already has the ball after recovering an onside kick to start the game in Eagles territory. They'll line up in a gun with 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. Allen in the backfield with Shelley. They're going to throw a pass on first down. He connects with Bethel, and he's actually going to be stopped for what I believe will be about a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, just a quick out there to Bethel, a little rub route, and it gets Shelley in a rhythm, but doesn't pick up too many yards. But the sure-handed Thomas Bethel continues to reel them in bunches.
Ball on the 41-yard line in Eagles territory. Darlington with the football here on 2nd down and 8. They will line up with Allen again in the backfield here for this set. 3 wide receivers to the far side. They're looking that way, and his eyes got a little bit big and couldn't hang on. Targeted there with the pass was, I believe, Simpkins. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, he had some room to run, too, if he hauls that one in. The blockers were out front. I think that would have been a big gain. Nonetheless, it's going to be 3rd and long for the Tigers.
Quickly, the Darlington Tigers back to line of scrimmage with 4 wide receivers on 3rd down and long. Shelley looks off to the sidelines. He has Harrison Allen just behind him and shaded to his left. And here's the snap, dropping back 3 steps as Shelley puts it in the air. This one's towards the sidelines to Bethel, but that's going to be over his back shoulder, and it's going to be an incomplete pass.
That's a tough one to swallow, man. What a disappointing 3 and out there to start the game after they stole a possession. You know that's going to be tough for the coaching staff to swallow there, but Brenton Sumner will come out to punt.
So Sumner is going to be standing right now on the 45-yard line on Darlington's side of the field. There's the snap. Here is the kick on the way, and this one is going to drift over to the near side into the end zone. That'll be a touchback.
A nice high kick there, landed a few yards in the end zone, so that'll come out to the 20. So a great start and a big opportunity for Darlington. They were unable to cash in on it, and now North Cobb will come out and get their first possession started at their own 20-yard line.
And, Ian, you know, I hate to say this, but this is one of the things that we were talking about in the pregame, having early opportunities and not being able to cash in. But hopefully that won't be something that comes back to haunt them in this football game.
I mean, love the call, love the aggressive nature of that, and it's unfortunate they weren't able to take advantage, but now the defense gets to come out and see if they can get a stop.
They'll line up under center. Again, this is an option offense, much like Paul Johnson ran at Georgia Tech. There's the snap. They're going to run it up the middle. The dive play is successful on the first play, and running down to the 40 is going to be number 6, Caleb Cannon. Runs off to the sideline, staying in bounds, is knocked out inside the 20 in the red zone. Big play.
Yeah, and that dive play is the foundation of this offense. If that is working, it can't be stopped. You have to shut that down. So on that particular play, Caleb Cannon had a huge hole to run through and then made a really nice cutback to pick up an extra, 15, 20 yards there as he got all the way down to the 19-yard line.
And it looks like they're going to spot him at about the 17.
Yeah.
And the quarterback in the game tonight is Walker Ormsby. He is the second-string quarterback. Their starting quarterback got hurt a couple of weeks ago. We'll tell you the details on that in a few minutes. But they'll line back in with a couple of A-backs and a B-back, 3 wide receiver set. Man goes in motion. There it is. They're going to hand it off and try to run it up the middle. And that was number 9, Isaiah Williams, the freshman. Or actually, he's a senior, excuse me. And he picks up maybe a couple of yards.
And that is how you want to defend the dive play right there. And keep this offense back behind the sticks. Put them in third and uncomfortable.
And I mentioned that Williams was a freshman earlier. That is incorrect. I was just looking at the wrong number. The way that the roster for North Cobb is, it has the numbers arranged a little bit differently than what we're used to, and I'm having to adjust to that. So I apologize for that error. But under center is going to be Walker Ormsby, and he gets ready to take the snap with a couple of wide receivers. And here's 2nd down and 8. There's the snap. They go up the middle, and there's a flag.
Yeah, the right tackle came out of his stance a little bit early, so that will back up the Eagles 5 yards.
So we're scoreless here. We've played about 2 minutes here from Chris Hunter Stadium. Darlington Tigers and North Cobb Christian Eagles in a really, really big matchup in 7A private.
Boy, this Darlington defense needs to get a stop right here. All the momentum was Darlington's on the first play with the onside kick. Went 3 and out from there, and North Cobb hit a big play in the running game, and they're now knocking on the door.
North Cobb Christian with 2nd down and 13 with the ball on the 20 right at the red zone. There's the snap. Quarterback drops back, looking to throw, connects with his wide receiver. He makes a nice spin move and gets inside the 5 to about the 3. Ormsby's the quarterback, and he threw to Luke Beverly.
And on that one, just a nice little curl route. Well, let's see how he hit. Yep, curl route there, and he picks up 16, 17 yards, sets up first down and goal at the 4-yard line.
So North Cobb Christian on the doorstep now, as you mentioned, with 1st and goal with the ball on the 4. Running off towards the sidelines is going to be Isaiah Williams. Wide receiver that split to the right is going to be John Greer for North Cobb Christian. One to the near side is Beverly. And here comes the snap to Ormsby, and they're going to hand it off and go with the B-back dive to Caleb Cannon. He's going to be stopped short, maybe picked up a yard. We'll see where they spot it.
And Cannon actually had a little bit of a collision with one of his teammates that was in motion that time, so that play kind of got off to a rocky start, and Darlington was able to shut that down.
Now Williams coming back out onto the field for North Cobb Christian for this package. This is going to be second down and goal here for the Eagles, threatening to score here in the first few minutes of this football game after the Tigers kicked it onside and recovered and went 3 and out to start the game. Ormsby ready to take the snap. Man goes in motion. They're going to pitch quickly on a tall sweep. He runs towards the end zone. Davis Watson, and had some help there from another Tiger. I believe that was Thomas Speed. They brought him to the turf.
And that pitch play is a hallmark of this option offense. Darlington defended that perfectly, and we're able to drop them for a big loss.
No, that was Luke.
Davis Watson got the tackle.
And Luke McDermott came in there to help.
Just played really well there, and that sets up third and goal from just the nose of the football, sitting on the 5-yard line on the right hash.
So third down and 5. From the 5, underneath center is going to be Walker Ormsby, the quarterback. There's the snap. They're going to go back with the B-back. He stays up, and he got close, but they may have kept him out. They haven't signaled it just yet, but it looked really close.
It was close. It was close. From our vantage point, it looked like that ball crossed the goal line, but they're spotting that well short. So it'll be fourth down and goal. And we'll not be surprised if the Eagles don't decide to try to just pound this one right over the goal line.
I have a feeling you're right. I think that's what we're going to see here. The offense looks like it's staying on the field. And here comes a man with the play call, and they'll go to the huddle momentarily. 15 seconds left on the play clock. 7:05 left here in the first quarter. They go back to line of scrimmage, sending Greer out wide to the right. To the near side is Beverly. Under center is Ormsby. He gets ready to take the snap. He'll dive forward.
I don't think he got it.
I don't think he got it either.
I don't think he got it. No, sir.
No. Stop on fourth down for the Darlington defense. They're able to hold, and that is huge.
I mean, big time. Big time. For Darlington to start the game the way they did with that onside kick, the disappointment of not being able to cash in and take that early lead to get a goal line stand here, and I'm talking the ball was a quarter of a yard from the goal line, and they went with the sneak, and that was just perfect defense, and Darlington takes over. Big play there.
Of course, one of the tricky parts right now is you got to get yourself out of jail because they got the turnover on downs, but the ball is right around the 1-yard line, so they got to get some breathing room here on the first couple of downs.
And really, I wouldn't be surprised to see a sneak here just to get a little of that breathing room, but you do have a back like Harrison Allen, but it's risky to hand the ball off. They're going to line up in the shotgun instead, so aggressive from the 1-yard line.
3 wide receiver set. They're going to hand the football off to Allen. He bulldozes through, but it looks like he was he tackled in the end zone? I think he got out, just barely.
Interesting there to line up in the shotgun and hand the ball off. I really wouldn't be surprised to see if they sneak it this time around just to get a little space. But that ball is barely on the other side of the goal line. That was close.
That was very, very close. So they will line up again in the gun. 3 wide receivers are going to be out to the far side. Darlington's working from left to right. No score in this football game so far. There's the snap. They pound it out of the end zone down across the 5. Harrison Allen with a great effort there, and that gives them a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, absolutely. He picks up 4.5, 5 yards there, got it outside the 5-yard line, and now they can dial up something. They've got a little room to operate.
Darlington and North Cobb Christian tonight. They'll line up in a shotgun. Harrison Allen in the backfield. 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side, working from left to right. This is going to be third down and 4 with the ball on Darlington's 6-yard line. We are scoreless with 5:35 remaining here in the opening quarter of play as we wait for Shelley to take the snap, and that is going to be a false start.
Sure is, and that'll be a half the distance penalty. That'll move it back to the 3-yard line. First penalty for Darlington tonight.
A lot of games going on of importance in the area. Obviously, at this point in time, you've got a couple of weeks left of the regular season and then getting ready for playoff time, so we'll be feeding you some scores throughout the night from other games. Tell you some of the ones we're going to be closely watching in just a little bit, but right now, Darlington has third down and 8 with the ball on their own 3, so back in their own end zone. Shelley takes the snap. He's going to hand it off. They run out to the edge on the near side with Allen. He stopped, and Darlington is going to go 3 and out and have to punt the football.
Yeah, they tried to go off tackle with Harrison Allen that time. That was really, really well defended. I'm telling you what, man, North Cobb Christian's got some big bodies down there, Matt. And their defensive tackle, number 65. I'm going to get that name. Denzel Alexandra Louise. Or Louise.
That's a heck of a name, man. I like that.
It is. He's a big boy.
And they will snap towards the back of the end zone. Sumner gets a good boot under it, and that is going to drop down, takes a friendly bounce for North Cobb Christian, goes out of bounds, so they're going to have a really good field position.
Sure did a good punt there. He just got an unfriendly bounce as it went sideways and back about 5 yards. And I think they're going to spot this right on the 35. Let's see. 37.
37?
Yeah.
So North Cobb Christian's going to have a great field position on Darlington's side of the field with 4:36 left here in the opening quarter. And we talked about how with the running game of this team and the nature of the game we'll probably see tonight, not a lot of possessions for either team more than likely. And, I mean, we just chewed up this first quarter in a blink of an eye.
Absolutely. You got to take advantage of the possessions you get.
So they will line up at the 37-yard line in Darlington territory, first down and 10. Quarterback takes the snap, throws a quick pass out here to the right side, and he connects with Luke Beverly. That's definitely a favorite target of his.
Yeah, and that's the second time they've run that play. Last time they ran it from the left hash going back to the right, but they like to roll the quarterback out. It gets the ball out of his hands quickly. Easy pickings so far with that.
Quarterback Ormsby with a pretty good arm, and again, he is their second-string quarterback. He is a senior, has experience, but their starting quarterback was injured on October 23rd when they were playing Bowden, and it was interesting how that happened. He scored on the first play from scrimmage and got hurt.
That's tough one to swallow right there.
His name is Luke Brock. But under center is going to be Ormsby. Here in this option offense, 2 wide receivers, 1 on each side. A couple A-backs and a B-back. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off and go up the middle with the B-back dive. Caleb Cannon pick up a chunk of yards.
And after that first play, they've defended the dive really well. So, but it's one of those plays, man. This offense really will just lull you to sleep, and before you know it, you'll see them pop a big run.
So they pick up 3 yards after everything shakes out, bringing up a second down and 7 with the ball on the, looks like 23-yard line. North Cobb Christian comes back to the line of scrimmage. 2 wide receivers, 1 on the near side, 1 on the far side. They're working right to left in their white uniforms with light blue helmets, a little bit darker shade of blue trim and numbers. Good-looking uniforms.
Absolutely.
You really like these, don't you?
I do.
Under center is Ormsby, takes the snap. He's going to run the football, and he's going to be dropped after a gain of maybe 3 or 4 yards.
See where the spot is there. It's going to be just short, but this is where you want to be in this offense, is in that 3rd and 3 range, so you're staying ahead of the chains if you're North Cobb Christian, and Darlington's got a tough task ahead of them to stop them from picking up these 2 yards.
2:48 and ticking left here in the first quarter. Nobody has scored.
But both teams have had opportunities. You had an onside kick for Darlington and a goal line stand that they just pitched on the last possession for the Eagles.
Ormsby under center, getting ready to take the snap with 2 wide receivers, and a flag comes in.
And this is a big one if it's against North Cobb Christian. Let's see what the call is. They're going to call encroachment. Yeah. Oh, and that'll just make the coaching staff for Darlington sick to their stomach. Didn't make them earn the yard. You gave it to them. That is a tough one to take there.
So the Eagles get ready to come back to the line of scrimmage. One game that we'd be following tonight is not happening. Christian Heritage at Mount Perrin Christian. Mount Perrin had some COVID issues and had to call that one off. That was unfortunate. Under center is Ormsby. He'll take the snap, hands it off, goes with the B-back on this play. He drags a couple of Tigers into the end zone. That's a touchdown for North Cobb Christian.
And I tell you what, Caleb Cannon runs with some really good pop, good pad level. He just dragged defenders into the end zone on that one. And
what was that, 13-yard run?
Yeah, 13-yard touchdown run right up the middle.
So now we're going to see them attempt the extra point and kicking it. Try to catch his numbers. Number 34, that'll be Trey Stevens. And the kick is on the way, and it's right through the upright, so that's going to bring the score to 7-0 with 2:03 remaining. Here our opening quarter. North Cobb Christian ahead of the Darlington Tigers currently.
And Darlington's got some work to do to slow down this option offense, but for it to only be 7-0, we've had a lot of twists and turns in this game already.
We truly have, and to be honest with you, with the way that the season has gone and some of the unbelievable games that we've seen some really interesting games. It's not surprising.
No, we've seen from Darlington, they can make adjustments in game. That's the sign of a good coaching staff and buy-in from your players. So there's never a reason to give up on the Tigers. The last time we were in this stadium, they were trailing by a bunch and came back to win. So no quit in Darlington.
Mark Hollers is in his 5th season at the helm of the North Cobb Christian Eagles. And just to tell you a little bit about how things have gone for him there, he is 28-23. He's won 55% of his games. In his first season, they were 0-10. Second season, 4-6. Then 10-2. And making it to the quarterfinals, and last year I believe they won 8 games and made it to the second round. So he's done a great job getting this program headed in the right direction and quickly, because it took a while for them to get things off the ground. Ball is teed up by the man that just kicked the extra point, Trey Stevens. They will kick it away to the Tigers, and in the end zone, catching the ball, that'll be an automatic touchback, is going to be none other than Luke McDermott.
And we've seen McDermott make some big plays in the return game this season. Has really good speed and gets north and south quickly. So it's to the Eagles' advantage to put that ball through the end zone and not allow him a chance to return.
Absolutely, no question about it. Darlington is down 7-0 if you've just tuned in, facing North Cobb Christian here at home tonight. Big game. This is one of those games that goes a long way towards getting a home playoff game if you win. If you lose, more than likely you're going to be in a situation where you are headed on the road in that first round. So a lot at stake here tonight.
Absolutely. See if Darlington can get something going on the positive side on offense on their third possession.
3 wide receivers set on 1st and 10 from Darlington's own 20, working from right to left. Man goes in motion. That's Bethel. Quarterback Shelley's going to bring it down and run the football. He's going to stay up, cuts inside, and gets it down to the 30, and is able to make some things happen with his legs.
Quarterback sweep play there for Shelley. He had his blockers out in front. He did a really good job being patient, waiting for that cutback lane, and instead of a 5 or 6 yard gain, he picks up a first down. Or did they rule him just shy of the marker? He was really close.
That's going to be 2nd down and 1, so he was just a yard shy. They'll send 3 wide receivers out to the far side. Shelley will line him up in the gun with Harrison Allen in the backfield. High snap. He pulls it down, hands it off immediately to Allen, who's able to get the yards for the first down, but a flag comes in late.
Make it a target here. I would definitely. Yeah, we are going to get a targeting. Definitely led with the crown of the helmet. No doubt about that. So that's going to be 15 yards on the end of that run. And North Cobb Christian's 2nd penalty. They've already racked up 20 penalty yards so far. And I'm going to watch this on the replay here. If you're watching with us at home, absolutely led with the helmet. No question about it.
So now the Tigers are going to have the ball on the 47-yard line, still on their side of the field, almost at midfield now, with 1st down and 10, and going to send a wide receiver split far off to the far side, 1 to the near side, and 1 in the slot on the far side. Allen in the backfield, Shelley ready to take the snap. Ball's in his hands. He's going to hand it off, run it with Allen. He picks up maybe 2 or 3 yards. We'll see where they spot it.
Yeah, they've been stingy up the middle between the tackles so far. This North Cobb Christian defense has been sound, and that is led by that big body that they've got right there in the middle.
We're under a minute to play in the first quarter. Darlington trails 7-0. They have the ball 2nd down and 7 with the ball right at the 50. There's the snap. Pull it. Quarterback pulls it and runs, dives forward. Maybe picks up a yard with that extra effort, but not a lot doing there on that play.
Yeah, really well defended there. Shelley made a great read to keep the ball, but there was nothing doing out there on the edge for him when he took off, and he didn't pick up much, if any, there. 3rd and 6. Darlington 0 for 2 on 3rd down so far.
Ball on the North Cobb Christian 49-yard line. Darlington with the football and a 3rd and long. They're going to send 2 wide receivers to the far side, a couple to the near. Allen still in the backfield with Patrick Shelley. We're down to 12 seconds left in the quarter, and there's also a little bit more than that on the play clock. Shelley ready to take the snap. He'll take it, hands it off. No, he's going to keep it and finds a running lane, stays up, spin move at the end of the play. He's down to the 39-yard line with a 1st down. That was a big 3rd down conversion.
Huge, and they get to go to the sideline and get their composure, as that was the last play of the first quarter. A big first down for Darlington.
We're going to take a break. 7-0, North Cobb Christian, Darlington 0. We'll send it back to the studio for 1 minute, come back for the second quarter after these messages. Well, we're just about to start the second quarter live by the lakeside at Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium. Darlington trails 7-0 to North Cobb Christian. Big region matchup tonight with playoff implications. And Ian, you were just looking at some scores from some other games. Anything interesting jump out at you?
My good friend Oliver Robbins is keeping me up to date on that Rome game. They're now up 14-0. They just scored another touchdown against Alexander in a big region game there.
Good to see Rome get off to a hot offensive start. That's certainly been something they've been working towards. Darlington with 1st and 10 inside North Cobb Christian territory. Going to put it in the air, and he connects with a wide receiver who gets hit just as the ball got to him, was able to hang on. That was an excellent throw and a great catch there by Thomas Speed.
Curl right, just right there at the marker, and Thomas Speed did a great job concentrating on looking that ball in because he was hit as soon as it was delivered.
So the Tigers now got a 2nd down and 1 coming up with the ball on the 31-yard line in Eagles territory, trailing 7-0, but looking really poised on this drive. Let's see what they can do. Shotgun formation, quarterback getting ready to take the snap with three wide receivers here to the near side. He'll take the snap, goes to Allen, stays up, breaks a tackle, nice cut inside, and he stays on his feet down to about the 10-yard line. I think he got tripped up maybe at the 12. We'll see where they spot it. Good hard run by Harrison.
Absolutely, and that's why you keep going back to the well when you've got a back like Harrison Allen. They ran that play 3 or 4 times so far tonight, and there's been nothing cooking, but that time he got a hole and he made the most of it.
1st and 10 for the Tigers at the 13-yard line. They go back to Allen, and he gets mixed up with a pile of folks, and not a big gain there on that play.
No, once again, big number 65, and I'm going to get this right eventually. Maybe I can find out. But we'll just call him Denzel for now. Denzel's playing really, really well in the middle.
Denzel Alexandre Louis.
Louis, we're going to go. We're going to go with Alexandre Louis.
I like it. It sounds nice.
It does. Rolls off the tongue.
So Darlington will line up with a couple of wide receivers to the far side here for 2nd down and 4 with the ball on the 9. Man goes in motion. That is Thomas Bethel. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to try to run it. He's got company being chased around, and he's going to take a sack for a pretty significant loss.
Yeah, and that time they went with the sweep to the left. Shelley thought he might be able to cut it back, make something happen because there was nothing going on that left side. And when he cut back, he ran into 3 Eagle defenders, and they didn't greet him too kindly.
No, they did not. And so that brings up 3rd down and 11 with the ball now back on the 15-yard line with 10:19 left to go here in the second quarter, with North Cobb Christian leading 7-0. And this is one of those times, Ian, where we've talked about they've got to figure out a way to get in the end zone.
Yeah, absolutely. They need this conversion badly.
And they're going to call a timeout, it looks like, and perhaps think it over. Timeout was called by North Cobb Christian. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one as well. We'll step out for 30 seconds. Darlington trails North Cobb Christian 7-0. 10:03 left here in the first half. We'll be back in 30. Got another score for us, Ian?
Yeah, absolutely. Cartersville, I'll give you a few, is up 14-0 on Woodland. Pepperell has taken an early lead 7-0 over Model. Calhoun up 17-zip over Cass. And that's all I've got for now, Matt. Everything else is all knotted up at zeros.
Well, here from Chris Hunter Stadium, Darlington trails right now early in this football game. North Cobb Christian up 7-0. 10:03 left, though, here in the first half of play. And Darlington trying to come up with another big third down conversion with 3rd down and 12 with the ball in the red zone at the 15-yard line. And Shelley's got them lined up in a gun with 4 wide receivers. There's the snap. Shelley's going to run and runs a draw, and he gets inside the 10-yard line. He's got a long way to go to get a first down, but let's see what they do here on this 4th down play.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting call here. Sumner's automatic from this range, so they're going to go get the points. I think early in the game, you don't want to come away with a goose egg here, and that would have been about a 4th and 4 yards. So Sumner will come out to attempt. Let's see where they mark this. A 25-yard field goal?
Yeah.
24?
20, I think 24, yeah. So 24-yard field goal attempt here for Brinson Sumner with 9:24 left here in the first half. The kick is on the way, and it is good. So points on the board for Darlington. Certainly you wanted to have the touchdown, didn't get there. But as you pointed out, to get points at this stage of the game is a positive thing.
Yeah, you've got to keep pace here no matter what. So you didn't want to come away with nothing after a really nice drive. Yeah, you want 7, but you take the 3 at this point in the game and see if your defense can go out and get a stop. This is an opportunity also to flip field position because the Eagles have had some pretty good field position so far in this game.
Just got a score update from our buddy Steve Conrad, who is watching from up near the Charlotte area. He said that NC State right now is up over Miami 14-7 in the first quarter.
And Steve, from me to you, Miami's not for real. I've been saying it all season. Go Wolfpack. Just don't believe in the Manny Diaz project.
7-3 your score here from inside Chris Hunter Stadium as Brinson Sumner, who just kicked a 24-yard field goal, was good. He's going to tee it up and kick it back here to North Cobb Christian. And now they will run back to the line of scrimmage.
It's a new wrinkle this week.
Yeah. So here comes Brinson Sumner to the ball, and this time he's going to kick it away. That's going to be a fairly line drive kick that goes back into the end zone, a touchback.
Yeah, and that one hit at the 4, and he got a good bounce as it rolled right inside the pylon and out of the back of the end zone. So that was one of those that flirted with being a touchback or giving them the 35-yard line. So fortuitous bounce. Tell you what, man, it's just a great night for high school football, isn't it?
Yo, absolutely. At kickoff time tonight, it was 62 degrees and clear. There's not really any wind to speak of, and just, as you mentioned, just perfect night. Hard to believe that we are now at November the 6th.
Crazy things happen in November when it comes to football, so it's going to be a great action-packed weekend from the high school level all the way through the NFL.
North Cobb Christian goes back to the line of scrimmage, leading this one 7-3. After the field goal from Darlington on the last possession, there's the snap. They're going to run it up the middle on the B-back dive and pick up 2 or 3.
I tell you what, that's the recipe for this Darlington defense. Stop the dive, and you will stop this offense. Only got a couple of yards there. You want to put them in 3rd and 5 and longer. Although they have executed well when they've dropped back to pass so far. They haven't really dropped back. It's been more of a rollout, but they've hit both of their pass attempts so far in this ball game.
Walker Ormsby is the quarterback here tonight for the North Cobb Christian Eagles. We mentioned to you their starting quarterback at the beginning of the season was Luke Brock, but he was injured back on the 23rd of October against Bowden. They won that game, by the way. Quarterback under center. Ormsby takes the snaps, going to hand it off. They go across the far side with Isaiah Williams.
And that's that trap play, man. That's a tough one to defend, and they'll run that a few times throughout the night. It always has big play potential. The Tigers looked like they had that one bottled up in the backfield, but who was the ball carrier on that? Was that Isaiah Williams? Yeah, he made a real nice move to get some extra yardage.
A lot of speed on this football team. They got the right ingredients, certainly, to run the triple option, no question about it. And now that's going to break up 3rd down and 1 with a ball on 29-yard line. North Cobb Christian trying to work it out of their own territory. They're going to send a couple of wide receivers wide, one to the far side, one to the near side. Otherwise, that base formation for the option offense. There's a snap. They're going to fake the handoff. Quarterback would keep it on the quarterback option and pick up a first down.
Yeah, just a nice quarterback follow play there. Ormsby fakes the ball, and then he follows the back he fakes it to right through the hole, and it's hard to stop that play when you're just trying to pick up a yard or two.
Only loss of the season so far for North Cobb Christian was at the hands of Fellowship Christian, which we had the opportunity to see them play last year. That is one good football team. And they also dealt Christian Heritage a loss earlier in the season as well. Going to have one wide receiver split to the near side. Working from left to right are the Eagles. They've got 1st and 10 here from the 30. There's the snap. Going to hand it off, and this time he's going to be brought down after a pickup of about 4. That was Caleb Cannon to be back.
And Cannon had to elude Davis Watson, and then Thomas Speed came in and leveled him after a 2.5, 3-yard gain.
So that brings up 2nd and 8 here for the Eagles. 7 minutes left here in our opening half. North Cobb Christian on top right now, 7-3.
And as you would expect when you're going up against an option offense, the clock is moving fast in this ball game.
Indeed it is. 2 wide receivers, 1 on each side here for 2nd down and 8. Ball on the 33. North Cobb working out of their own territory. There's a quick pass over into the flat, connects with Williams, gets him into space. He's across midfield and hauled out of bounds.
Great play design there. It looked like it was going to be that sweep play, but instead Williams drifted out into the flat, and Ormsby did a good job throwing the ball. I mean, it's just like an extended option play almost. It picked up a bunch of yards.
Now they're going to have the ball on the 47-yard line in Darlington territory, leading 7-3 with 6:34 left in the half. And now Ormsby comes back from the sidelines into the huddle with his team. He'll run him back to the line of scrimmage, sending a couple of wide receivers this time to the near side. Ormsby remains under center here for the play in that base formation for the option. Ormsby set to take the snap on 1st and 10. Man went in motion. They're going to hand it off and go up the middle with that B-back dive and Caleb Cannon, and he picked up about maybe 3 yards.
Yeah, staying ahead of the chains. Right now this offense is on schedule. Darlington's going to have to do something to disrupt that schedule if they want to get off the field.
2nd down and 6 now for the Eagles. 6:13 and the clock ticking here in the first half. Ball on the 43-yard line in Darlington territory. At halftime, we're going to relay some scores for you, courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center. We appreciate them being a sponsor with us again this year on that. It's always great fun. Quarterback under center. Base formation, 2 wide receivers. And Ormsby ready to take the snap. Man goes in motion as he does. There is a handoff. They're going to go back with Williams on that play, I believe, and he's going to be stopped after maybe a short pickup of maybe 1.
Yeah, about a yard there, and Darlington's got him in that 3rd and 5 range. These are the opportunities this Darlington defense has to take advantage of. They've got to get off the field on 3rd and medium to 3rd and long.
So 3rd and 5 here with 5:25 remaining in the first half. And North Cobb Christian will bring Ormsby in back with a play call. They'll break the huddle, come back to the line of scrimmage. Darlington trying to pin their ears back on 3rd down and get off the field. Ormsby under center, 2 wide receiver set, 1 on each side. Man goes in motion, that's Williams. Quarterback's rolling out, looking to throw. Ball's in the air, connects with his wide receiver. They get the first down and then some, and the receiver was Ben Mosley. That was a nice play.
Yeah, absolutely. Ormsby in that little moving pocket. Every time they've passed so far, other than that little swing pass they pulled off early on this drive, that's been what they've gone to, just a little curl route. He just has to take about 3 or 4 steps out to his left or right and fire, and it's been there. It's been open. That ball was actually a little bit high, but the receiver was able to pull it down and get the first down.
So now it's 1st and 10 here for North Cobb Christian with the ball on the 31-yard line in Darlington territory with the lead 7-3. We're down almost to the 4:30 mark of the half.
This is just what the doctor ordered if you're the Eagles, managing that clock.
2 wide receivers as they take the snap. Ormsby with the ball in his hands. He fakes to the B-back, goes with one of the A-backs. He runs around the edge to the near side. He's inside the 20 and down to about the 14 before they haul him in. And that was number 33.
Yep.
Shenard Banks.
And a nice run there.
And
And that's what the dive sets up. I mean, Darlington crashed down. They faked the dive, went to the outside, and Banks was able to get he just had a lot of real estate in front of him, and Darlington was lucky to pull him down before he got to the end zone.
And one of the things that also makes this offense so effective, think about how many names we've called already so far for North Cobb Christian. They got some really good, athletic, speedy kids.
And they're big up front, man. This is a good-looking offensive line as well.
Ormsby under center for 1st and 10 from in the red zone at the 14. He's going to go up the middle and gets him down to close to the 10-yard line. So a pickup of 3 or 4 yards. And that was Cannon.
And this will be Darlington's third time defending the red zone. They pitched a goal line stand the first time the Eagles got in striking distance. They sure could use a stand here.
Oh, they truly could. We're down to close to the 3-minute mark, 3:22 left with the clock ticking in the first half. Darlington trailing 7-3, but North Cobb Christian, the Eagles, are threatening with the ball on the 11-yard line with 2nd down and 7 coming up. They're going to send a wide receiver out to the far side. That's Ryan Cooper. One to the near side. We've called his name before. That is Beverly. Ormsby under center. Man goes in motion. That's Williams. They are going to keep it with the quarterback. He dives forward to about the 3-yard line, so that'll be enough for the first down, setting up a 1st and goal.
Yeah, 1st and goal for the Eagles. And a nice play there by Ormsby. And they've got this Darlington defense on their heels.
So the Eagles get ready to go back to the line of scrimmage with under 3 minutes to play here in the first half, leading at 7-3, but threatening to tack on some more before we go to halftime. And the option is running like a charm in this football game.
And melting the clock away here with 20 seconds left on the play clock. They're not going to be in a hurry to snap this.
Ormsby under center here on 1st and goal. From the 3. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off, go with the B-back. He dives forward. Ball came out, and Darlington believes they have it. They get up, and they do. That is a turnover.
Joe Marion with the fumble recovery there, and that's just an error there by the Eagles on the exchange. Cannon lost the ball, and Joe Marion was opportunistic and got on top of it. That's the second time at the shadow of the goal line Darlington has come up with a stop. And it couldn't have come at a better time with 2 minutes and 19 seconds left in the second quarter. Darlington will take over at their own 2-yard line. They have all 3 timeouts. What a play, Matt.
What a play. And again, Darlington is in a situation where they have the ball backed up against their own goal line, so they do have some work to do here to get some breathing room. But let's see what they can put together here late in the first half, trailing 7-3. They're going to line up in a shotgun. We're going to have a timeout, it looks like, called before they run the first play.
And I like that timeout there. Of course, you want to conserve those if you can, but you don't want to make a big mistake when you're down there in your own end zone. So Tommy Atha is going to bring his crew over and get this straightened out.
And I'll tell you what, we're going to keep it here right through this timeout, and the power goes out in the – no, just the lights. We're good. I was about to panic there for a second. Power.
Last week has traumatized Matt Davis. We were without power out at the station. I was without power for days at my house. I know others in the area were. So when those lights went out, Matt panicked a little bit.
A little bit. We had a lot to overcome last week. Of course, it's been an interesting week this week. And so, I don't know. I don't know about you. I think everybody's ready for a little smooth sailing for a little while.
Absolutely. No doubt about it, man.
Maybe get some good night's sleep in there as well.
A good weekend for football. That's what my television will be on the rest of the weekend.
Really excited about some of the matchups tomorrow. Of course, it's a little strange having the world's largest outdoor cocktail party on November. Well, I can't call it that anymore.
Yes, you can. Yes,
I can't help myself.
Any respectable Georgia or Florida fan will call it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Well, that's tomorrow at 3:30.
It sure is. I'm ready for that one.
I'm pretty sure you didn't need me to tell you that,
no,
Mr. Florida Gator fan.
That's true. I don't want people throwing stuff at me, Matt. Be quiet.
I think the secret's already out on that, man.
I know.
But Darlington has the ball after the turnover. As you mentioned, Joe Marion recovered a fumble right at the 3-yard line from North Cobb Christian. It looked like they were going to march in and score, so the score remains 7-3, and now Darlington has to get themselves out of jail. They've got the ball right at the 3, so they're going to have to get this thing out of their own end zone first and try to get some room to work with here late in the first half. Here comes the snap to Shelley from the gun. He's going to hand it right to Allen, who gets bulldozed right away. Keeps those legs turning, but there was really nothing there.
Yeah, not much there. And so far, every play they've run out of their end zone has been a handoff to Harrison Allen, and it's been well defended by the Eagles.
That brings up second down here for the Tigers and 10 with the ball still right around that 3-yard line.
And look, clock management comes into play here too. You know, you'd love to score, but really at this point you want to get to the locker room. You don't want to give North Cobb Christian another chance to score.
And Sam Fricks there with the shot from the sidelines just a moment ago. There's a snap. They're going to hand it off again, and this time we're able to get a little bit more yardage out to about the 5.
Yeah, Allen did a really good job there keeping his feet as he was greeted about the 3-yard line, and he was able to spin and drive forward and pick up an extra 2.5 yards.
So 1:22 left in the clock ticking with a third down and about 5 here for, about 6 really.
And Darlington will let this clock melt away. I'm kind of surprised North Cobb Christian is not calling a timeout, but they're going to let this melt down.
Going to have 2 wide receivers to the near side and 1 to the far side. We're down under the minute mark now. And Shelley is going to line them up with everybody else in tight. And here.
Darlington may take a timeout here, Matt.
3 seconds left on the play clock, and there is the timeout.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, this one we're going to take. 44.7 seconds left on the clock here in the first half. Third down and 7 coming up for the Tigers. When we return, North Cobb Christian 7, Darlington 3. We'll be back in 30. Well, for those of you following along at home, we'll let you know that train number 1 has just come through here at Chris Hunter Stadium. So I'm looking at the nice graphic that they have on the video board right now, letting us know that's the first one. There was actually 1 or 2 that happened before the game started.
The graphic makes you think of Soul Train, right?
It kind of does.
I mean, absolutely. Matt and I are just old enough to remember the glory days of Soul Train.
Yeah, back when the living was easy.
That's right. That's right. I could see you doing the dance line, man. I could see you getting out there and just cutting a rug and impressing the Soul Train crowd with those classic Davis moves.
Let me tell you what, I hung up my Converse glitter dancing shoes several years ago. I think I'm done with that
people
part
remember
of my
that,
life.
man. I'm just
That's over with. So Darlington comes back to the line of scrimmage now with 44.7 ticks left on the clock with 3rd and 7 and trying to get to the locker room without any damage. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off, run it to the near side as Allen tries to cut back inside, and he's going to be brought down at about the 4 with 35 seconds left.
And that play ended up losing a yard, but let's give Harrison Allen some credit there as he was headed towards the boundary and had the wherewithal to cut back and stay in bounds and force North Cobb Christian to use one of their timeouts. So that's a heads-up play from a senior right there. And great clock management by Tommy Atha and his staff as well, as they really have cut into the time that North Cobb will have to score when they get the ball back here.
And I can still hear that train go by.
Does that count as train too? So
I
we
don't
can still hear it?
I don't think so.
I don't know
think
the
that's
rules.
just the same one.
I
That's
don't know the rules.
pretty big train going by, man. But anyway, we're glad you're with us tonight on WLAQ or the live video feed. It's Darlington football right now. North Cobb Christian up 7-3. We have a whole another half coming up in just a little bit. At halftime, we're going to relay some scores from other games from around the area, courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center. At the end of the night tonight, we are going to have the awarding of the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. And then we'll also have the Rome Orthopedic Center high school football scoreboard show tomorrow. Alabama's off, and also Georgia Tech. We're affiliates of both those teams, so we won't have any college football for you tomorrow, but you can tune in for CBS Sports Radio all weekend. I know tomorrow there'll be be focused a lot on setting the stage for NFL coming up on Sunday, but also talking about the college matchups and things like that. And then on Sunday, they'll pretty much be talking NFL.
And I tell you, I enjoy watching the NFL, but the Falcons' failures have just sucked the life out of it for me this year.
Me too, man.
My Sundays are free. All right. This is where having a kid like Brenton Sumner is an absolute weapon for you. He's having to kick out of his own end zone for the second time tonight. He gets a lot of hang time on it, and that limits the return opportunities.
One man back here for North Cobb Christian. He's standing at the 43-yard line. And here is the kick. Pretty good air underneath it. A fair catch is signaled for, and they will start at the 44-yard line. Signaling the fair catch was John Greer.
All right. Now Darlington will try to keep everything in front of them here. This North Cobb Christian offense does a lot of things well, but trying to move the ball through the air is not necessarily one of them. So we'll see how they can do here. But if Darlington can get to the locker room down 7-3 with the opportunities that the Eagles have had to score, that is a huge win.
Indeed it is. So North Cobb Christian's going to start off on the Darlington 44-yard line with only 31.4 seconds to work with. They're going to send a wide receiver off to the far side, one to the near. Otherwise, they're in that base option formation that you'll see them in much of the night, if not the entire night. And goes in motion. That's Williams. Quarterback's rolling out, looking to throw. He's going to connect with a wide receiver who cuts inside and has a lot of green grass in front of him, and he is down to around the 12-yard line before they haul him in. Was that Luke Beverly again?
It was, yep. And it was the same route. It's just been eating Darlington alive. There's nothing really spectacular about it, but it has been open and picked up big yardage.
They're going to spike the football and stop the clock. 21.2 seconds left here in the half, and they are in the red zone. That was a big play.
It really was,
Ooh.
Matt. We still have one timeout. Yeah, that's exactly what Darlington didn't need to happen. They have one timeout left. Darlington does as well, so if they need to, they can burn that. But a tackle inside the boundary would be huge right here, as long as it is short of the goal line, that is.
Walker Ormsby brings him back to the line of scrimmage with a couple of wide receivers, one on each side. Ormsby under center, getting ready to take the snap here on second down and 10 from the 14. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to hang on to it. Throws right at the last second. And into the end zone goes Isaiah Williams. How did he ever get that throw off?
Yeah, the pressure was there. You've got to tip your cap to Ormsby as he was able to keep his feet and deliver a strike out there in the flat. He rolled out. They were going back to the well. That time we brought a little pressure. Val Nowens, I think, was the man who got there.
Well, that makes the score 13-3 in favor of North Cobb Christian as we wait for the extra point attempt by Trey Stevens. And here comes the snap. The hold is good. The kick is on the way, and it will be through the uprights. So it is now 14-3. Wow.
I'll tell you what, Darlington did everything they could to get to the locker room, only down one score. But the execution there at the end, I mean, I love the call. They dialed up a little bit of pressure there. They knew what was coming, but the Eagles just made a heck of a play there. How Ormsby kept his feet and made that pass, I do not know.
Well, we've talked about it all night. The Eagles come into the game 6-1. They are 1-0 in region play. They are the, I believe, number 7 team in the state in Class A private football, and they are the number 6 scoring offense in the state in Class A private football this season, and that certainly didn't happen by accident. This team is very good in terms of the athletes that they have, but they execute this offense at a very high level.
And Tommy Atha is letting the refs know that he didn't like a no call there on the edge. I didn't see it on the replay, but it could have been a block in the back or a hold. I'd have to see the play again to give you my judgment on it, but Atha definitely not happy.
Stevens has it teed up here for North Cobb Christian. They now lead it 14-3 with 14.4 seconds left in the first half. And the Tigers just trying to get to the locker room at this point. The kick is on the way and into the end zone, and that'll be an automatic touchback.
14.4 seconds, one timeout. You might take a knee. You might take a risk here. See if you can pop something and take a shot at the end zone. But I would imagine we're going to see the Tigers just take a knee, get to the locker room. They get the ball to start the second half. So make the adjustments, regroup, see if you can come out and get a touchdown. You're right back in this thing.
Indeed. But right now, Darlington on the wrong end of things, 14-3 after really hoping to get to a fast start in this football game, and it looked like there was some possibility that was going to happen. They've had some opportunities, but just haven't been able to capitalize.
Well, if you look at the Tigers, they've got them right where they want them. They're down. They've played from behind well all season, so I will not be surprised if they come out and find a way to claw back in this game and win it.
There is absolutely zero quit in this football team. There's no question about that. Patrick Shelley with Allen in the backfield. There's the snap on 1st and 10. They are going to take a knee and take it to the locker room, and as you mentioned, regroup and get set for the second half.
Yeah, you got 2 more quarters to play. You get the ball to start the second half. You got to shake off what's went wrong and come out and play the ball game, and you know that the Tigers are capable of doing just that.
So at halftime here from by the lakeside at Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium, right now North Cobb Christian on top 14-3 over your Darlington Tigers, but a whole half to go. We're going to send it back to the studio to Lynn Butler, who's going to give us a commercial break and perhaps some scores. And if not, we'll come back with some scores here live from Chris Hunter Stadium. But we appreciate you listening tonight. We'll be back in a few minutes. We're going to catch our breath. We'll be back.
At Darlington, we're proud to wear purple and white.
Because Tigers strive for greatness.
In the classroom and on the field.
We know that we can do anything.
Be anything.
Achieve anything.
We're part of a program that is 100% dedicated to nourishing our minds and our bodies.
As teammates, we push each other further than we ever thought we could go.
Because every single one of us has something to contribute.
We practice hard so that when we compete, we can leave it all out on the field.
With each win, we build confidence.
With each loss is a lesson.
Our coaches teach us more than technique.
They prepare us to be good teammates,
friends,
and people.
We face adversity together
and push through to reach our goals.
We may struggle,
but we will never give up.
Because today,
because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
All right, folks, we are back here live by the lakeside inside Chris Hunter Stadium, and we saw an interesting first half. A lot of different things occurred over the course of that half. Darlington trails, though, as the result of the half, 14-3. Had some opportunities there in the half, but hopefully there'll be a lot more opportunity coming up in the second half for them to climb back in it, because got a little hole there, especially going up against an option team that runs a ball control offense, eats up the clock, things of that nature. So being down 14-3 is kind of a tough spot to be in, but as we've seen all season long, no quit in the Darlington Tigers. They're going to come back out in the second half, have the football after deferring to the second half after winning the toss, and hopefully be able to mount a drive to start that half and get things back on track.
And they've just got to shake off the way things went. I mean, there were things that went right for Darlington. Let's start with the onside kick to start the game. Really, really great way to start. Couldn't cash in on that. But then they get a goal line stand on that first possession for North Cobb Christian. Have to start from their own 1 yard line. They weren't able to get out of that hole, and North Cobb was able to cash in. But they also had a fumble down on the goal line. And going back and looking at the replay and talking to some of the people here in the booth with us, that there was a non-call there on the last touchdown. That was a pretty blatant block in the back. That was what Tommy Atho was arguing with the officials there at the end of the half. They've got to shake that off too. Sometimes the breaks don't go your way. Absolutely should have been called, wasn't called, so the points are on the board. So we've seen it all season with this team, though. When they've faced adversity, they've been able to rise to that challenge every time. They haven't always gotten the win, but they've fought back in every one of those instances.
There's no question in my mind that we're going to have an interesting finish to this game no matter what happens here in the second half. So we will see. Well, we've got about 13 minutes until the second half begins, and we have some statistical data sitting in front of us, courtesy our buddy Stacy and also Melvin, who's over there with him tonight working on these stats. We'll run that down for you, and we'll start with the rushing yards for Darlington. Harrison Allen had 10 carries for 31 yards. Patrick Shelley had 5 carries for 21 yards. Passing, Shelley tonight, I didn't throw it a lot there in that first half, was 2 of 4 for 11 yards. He would target Thomas Bethel once for 2 yards with the catch there, and then Thomas Speed would have 1 catch for 9 yards. Brenton Sumner would come on for a 24-yard field goal attempt to give Darlington their only points there that first half. The field goal was good, and so that's where Darlington stands in terms of their offensive numbers. You would have a couple, 4 tackles for Darius Smith, 1 for Harrison Allen. For Watkins, you would have 3 tackles. For Joe Marion, you would have 2 tackles, but he also recovered a fumble. Patrick Shelley would have 1 tackle. Thomas Speed had 4. You would have Luke McDermott with 1 tackle. Christian McClooney would pick up a couple of tackles. Then number 64, Joey Kite, he would have 1 tackle. DJ Johnson, who's back off the injured list, he had a couple of tackles there in that first half, as well as Davis Watson with 1. So that's the numbers there for the Darlington Tigers. Now for North Cobb Christian, we'll run through what they had so far in this football game. I need to pick up the roster, make sure I get the names right. Caleb Cannon would have 10 carries for 83 yards, a touchdown, also fumble once. Then number 33, that is Shenard Banks. He would have 2 carries for 14 yards. Number 5, that is Briar Powers. He would have 1 carry for 2 yards. Number 23, that is Luke Beverly, would have 1 carry for -2 yards. Then the quarterback, Walker Ormsby, would carry it 4 times for 16 yards. And then Isaiah Williams would have 1 carry for 5 yards. Passing tonight, which is kind of interesting stat here. You don't think of an option team like this as a passing team, but this team has done that very effectively. They've thrown it 6 times, have completed all 6 passes for 109 yards and a touchdown pass. And that's one of the things that makes this offense so dangerous. They don't pass it a lot, but if you can do it effectively, you can do a lot of things here with this offense. They run this offense really well.
They really do. 5 of those 6 pass attempts were the exact same play, and it worked every time. They threw a little wrinkle in where they run that sweep play where the back comes from the other side and it's a toss sweep play. They faked that, and then it became a pass out into the flat. Well, I guess that's the secondary option on their other pass play, because Ormsby was able to keep his feet after being pressured. I don't know if it was Luke Lewis or Davis Watson that applied that pressure, but it looked like he was going to get sacked. Somehow he keeps his feet, and he gets it out to the outside. That was where that block in the back occurred. but it was a touchdown. So they've been very accurate in the passing game. When they have gone to it, it has been wide open. So other than the touchdown pass, they've been really easy throws.
They really have. And speaking of receivers, Luke Beverly would have 2 catches for 27 yards for North Cobb Christian. Also Williams, you just mentioned him. He'd have 1 catch for 24 yards. Then you'd have number 23, Luke Beverly. He's on there a couple of times. Then you would have, I got confused.
I think Beverly's got 3 receptions. He just got marked twice on the
okay,
on the
I got
list,
you.
So.
And then also the touchdown for Williams. So where we stand right now, the most important statistic is the score, and North Cobb Christian leads in that area as well. They are up 14-3 over the Darlington Tigers. We have 9 minutes and 3 seconds left on the clock until time expires here in this halftime period. Then we'll have the 3-minute warm-up period as well. So when everything's all said and done, we're about 12 minutes before we start the second half.
And I'm sure it's a spirited locker room right now. Your season's on the line. That's got to be the message from Tommy Atha. These guys put the work in. Let's go out there, fight back, and get in this game. And fortunately, they deferred, and we'll have that opportunity to seize momentum, hopefully early in the second half, because one thing we definitely saw is the clock management has been excellent by North Cobb Christian. They've been able to just melt it away, and right now playing with a lead, this offense is built to play with a lead. So striking fast in this second half is key for a Darlington comeback.
It is, and having the ball coming out of the locker room on that first possession, if Darlington can come out and score and make this a 4-point ball game, that could be absolutely massive in terms of what things are going to look like at the end of the night. So that first drive out of the locker room has got to be money for the Darlington Tigers. It really does. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll come back here in a few minutes and continue to talk about the second half, which is forthcoming here on the Darlington Tiger Radio Network. And I guess we should also say video network as well, as we provide the audio for the video stream as far as the play-by-play is concerned. And we really enjoy being a part of that. And we certainly appreciate the job that, of course, Dave Corbin and Joey Johnston do with that. Now they've added a new member to their crew there, Sam Fricks. You saw some video that was from the sidelines and getting the fans involved and things like that. So that's a really neat wrinkle.
And it's a new wrinkle, and these guys are volunteering their time to do this and do a brilliant job. So really just want to give them a shout out for putting together a great broadcast for all the Darlington faithful back home. I couldn't imagine being able to watch a high school football game on YouTube back when we were kids and couldn't go to the game.
I'm old school, man.
Yeah.
I mean, here in a couple weeks I'm going to be 42, which makes my head spin to say that. I love the video, but I also like to just turn on the radio and listen to broadcasters and things like that as well. So this is something that certainly is a new addition that people really, really enjoy. So it's really neat, man. Couldn't imagine it back in our day.
When I was a kid, we used to mute the TV and turn on a radio broadcast if we could, and just listen to that. So you're getting the best of both worlds here. And
nowadays when you do that, the delay is such that it really can be confusing. But sometimes I'll do it anyway because I just like the way that the play-by-play and the color guys on the radio broadcast describe the action. Sometimes better than what you get on the television. It just depends, I guess, on the crew and that sort of thing, and how much you're into the team that you're watching.
Absolutely.
Well, anyway, we're going to take a break at halftime. North Cobb Christian 14, the Darlington Tigers 3. We'll step out for a few minutes. We'll come back for more on the halftime show, and we're glad you're with us. We'll be back in a few. Yep, we're back inside Chris Hunter Stadium at Jerry Sharp Field tonight for Darlington football night on WLAQ. Right now, Darlington trails 14-3 at halftime, but the good news is we've got a whole half left to play, and we've certainly seen the Darlington Tigers surge in the second half of games throughout the season. So absolutely no quitting this team. They're a team that can come out. They don't get rattled in these situations, as we've talked about with Coach Atha quite a bit over the course of the season. So it really will be interesting to see how things unfold over the final 24 minutes of this football game.
Yeah, we saw them defer after winning the toss and let their defense come out. Of course, they flipped that possession with an onside kick, which was great. Couldn't take advantage of it, but they get to start the second half with the ball. And we talked about it before we went to the break. It is imperative that they come out and get points right here and establish themselves and let this Eagle team know they're not getting out of Chris Hunter Stadium without a fight.
No question about it. And, of course, just to kind of preview what we've got coming up next week, Ian, the Tigers are going to wrap up the regular season after playing 10 straight weeks. We'll be visiting Walker School in Marietta to face the Wolverines, and I personally have never been to the Walker School before, so looking forward to going to a new place for us. I know Darlington's played them in the past, but I wasn't part of the broadcast team during that period of time, so I'm looking forward to, again, going to a new place. The Wolverines have struggled so far this season. They've posted a 1-7 record. Their only win was over St. Francis, a team that we saw here at Chris Hunter Stadium early in the season. Darlington had a pretty, I won't say easy time in that game, but they took care of business, no question about it in that game. So, feel pretty good about the Tigers' chances next week. But tonight they really want to put themselves in position to have the number 2 seed in the playoffs. That's the biggest thing. And if they win this game tonight, they keep the hope alive of the possibility of a region title this year.
And Matt, I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you break down that tiebreaker scenario just in case that does become a reality?
Yes, I can break it down, and that is thanks to Coach Atha, because I sent him an email earlier this week asking that question, and this is the response that I got. So basically what would happen in a 3-way tie is the lowest points given up versus 2 common opponents in the 3-way. So that's how it breaks down in Region 7A private. I know it's different in different regions how that is set up. I know some for a while would have mini games. We've seen that happen against area teams. But I would imagine that nobody would elect to do that this year.
Yeah, they're going to avoid that at all costs. And usually once that is established, that's, the region's going to go with whatever they chose to do in those tiebreaker scenarios. So it'll benefit Darlington to come back and maybe even pitch a shutout in the second half.
Absolutely. Yeah. So everything at this point in time, goals that you possibly could have had at the beginning of the season, still in front of the Darlington Tigers, and a lot of that hanging in the balance of the second half. So it doesn't get any more exciting than this, and we're super fired up about being here and bringing the second half of this football game.
And it says a lot for the character of this team, but Matt, they're trailing by 11 points. They had to have a lot of things go their way to only be down 11 points, yet I'm sitting here in the booth and I'm expecting a comeback.
I am as well. Certainly we've seen Darlington in these situations and have made the games very interesting, and we'll just have to see what happens. But, we got to give credit where it's due. North Cobb Christian is a very good football team. They've got athletes all over the field. They have size up front. They have speed. And even as important as that, they execute this offense to a T. It has been working well in this game. So you got to give credit to them. They've played a good football game.
Yeah, they have. Other than the mistake, they're fumbling the ball on the goal line, which was a problem with the exchange. That was definitely an unforced error for the Eagles and cost them some points. They've been really clean. They had one personal foul penalty on the defense. There was a targeting. Other than that, one false start. 2 penalties total for 20 yards. Darlington has played a pretty clean game when it comes to the laundry on the field as well, with only 2 penalties for 8 yards. One of those extremely costly on a 4th down and 1 that extended North Cobb Christian's drive, and then they eventually punched that into the end zone. And the only turnover in the game, if you count the onside kick, then Darlington has forced 2, but the only official turnover would have been that fumble.
Well, Ian, now that we've got a couple of minutes before we start the second half, we got our breaks in. Let's talk a little bit of college football, because obviously I know you're really excited about the Georgia-Florida game coming up tomorrow. We also get a little bit later on in the evening Clemson and Notre Dame. Yeah. I'm hopeful that that'll be a good matchup. I'm not totally sold on the idea, even without Trevor Lawrence. I could see Clemson still coming out and taking over that game, but we'll see. We're going to find out just how good this Notre Dame team is tomorrow night.
We are, and I know it'll be tough. We talked about this on the show yesterday, but if Notre Dame's competitive in this, there's always going to be that little asterisk because Trevor Lawrence is not playing in this ball game. But DJ Uiagalelei.
Man, that is awesome. You say it the same every time, and
okay.
I kind of look at that as an accomplishment.
Thank you, Matt. He'll take the field. This will be his second start. And he led them to a comeback against Boston College last week, so that's got to be good for him. So I think it's going to be a close game for a little while. But I do expect Clemson to win. I just think there's too much talent, and they definitely have the advantage when it comes to playmakers, and they've got them all over the field.
And, one of the things, too, I think that's going to be a real key in that game is watching how their defense responds to having a tough first half in their game last week, talking about Clemson. I think they're going to come out really strong in this football game. I had the opportunity to see Notre Dame play Georgia Tech in person down at Grant Field this past weekend, and the first thing that jumped off the page at me about Notre Dame was how big their offensive line is and physical they are. So the battle in the trenches will be interesting in that football game. Notre Dame can run the football. Hadn't been super flashy with their passing game. They don't quite have the weapons that they had last year with Komet, who's now in the NFL, and some of the other guys they had. So I just don't know if they've got the offensive firepower to hang with a team like Clemson, even without Trevor Lawrence. But we're going to find out tomorrow.
We sure will, in prime time. So it's going to be a fun day of football. And then, of course, we've got the cocktail party at 3:30. That should decide the Eastern Division with Tennessee kind of tanking after high expectations. It's really down to this game between Georgia and Florida. Whoever wins that game essentially has a 2-game lead in the Eastern Division. And you know what the prize for winning the East is?
Yes.
You get to play Alabama.
Alabama Crimson Tide.
It's the gift you might want to give back sometimes, but Georgia's already had that opportunity once. They'd love to have it again. As much as Alabama has been a thorn in the side of the Bulldogs, you have to play them to beat them. So we'll see what happens tomorrow and which team gets that honor.
And the Crimson Tide are absolutely loaded on offense this year, even without Jalen Waddle for the rest of the year. Well, here comes the opening kickoff of the second half. It is on the way, and that is going to come down at about the goal line. It'll be brought out by Luke McDermott. He's got a head full of steam, cuts inside, flag comes in, and he gets it down to the 30, but we'll have to see what this flag's about.
Yeah, it'll be on Darlington. There's no doubt. I didn't see any kind of block in the back on that. I'll have to watch the replay, but I expect this one to come back. Really nice cut there by McDermott as he put his foot in the ground just shy of the 20 and was able to get 12 more yards. Okay, they're going to get I think they're going to get Bowden Owens there, but he really laid off, I thought. I mean, we'll see. To not call the one they called at the end zone, I know Coach Athan won't be happy with the ticky-tacky block in the back, but that is what they're going to call.
They're going to march it off, and instead of having pretty good field position, Darlington is going to have to start right at their own 10.
Yeah.
That's tough. So we're just underway here with the second half. Darlington with the football, and they got to go 90 yards if they're going to get into the end zone. Let's see if they can put something together here on the first drive of the second half.
Other than the onside kick, Darlington's field position has been rough tonight. They've started inside their own 10. This is the third time they'll start a drive.
And that's something we really haven't seen this season. They've had favorable field position a lot throughout the season. They're going to send 2 wide to the near side, 1 on the far side, working right to left to start the half. Shelley with him in a gun. He's got Allen in the backfield, and the flag comes in immediately.
And this is not how you wanted to start things if you're the Darlington Tigers, as 2 penalties on the first 2 plays of the second half. We talked about how important this drive is, and it is not getting off on the right foot.
So Darlington will go back to the drawing board here. Now the ball is just inside the 5-yard line. They're backed up against their own goal line, which we've seen throughout this game quite a bit so far. So Patrick Shelley will be standing right at the goal line as he takes the snap with 3 wide receivers. As Bethel goes in motion, there's the snap. They'll run play action. They get some space and get it to Darius Smith. That was an excellent play. Gets him across the 16.
Love the call there. Really well executed. Darius Smith sold his block and got out there on the perimeter. Was able to cut that upfield and pick up some much-needed yards as they got 10, almost 11 on that play.
So 2nd down and 4 here for the Darlington Tigers after a big play there on 1st down, and gives them some significant breathing room that they need as they now have the ball at the 15-yard line. Lined up in a gun, Shelley gets ready to take the snap with 4 wide receivers, this time with Allen in the backfield. And we're going to have a little motion there, and a flag comes in.
And another penalty. 2 procedure penalties here. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back so far in this half of football for Darlington. 3rd penalty since they've come out of the locker room.
Darlington will get ready now with 2nd down and 9. Shelley in the shotgun formation with a 4 wide receiver set and Allen in the backfield. There's the snap. He'll pull it down. Going to put the ball in the air. Connects with a wide receiver. Ball is coughed up, and the Tigers were able to cover, I believe.
That's incomplete. Incomplete pass. There's no way. He did not have possession of that. Yeah. And, man, we get spoiled watching the college and pro game. There is no replay here, so if an official misses that, that could have been a huge call, but he never possessed that ball.
Here comes train number 2 of the night, Ian.
And here comes another 3rd down. So far, the Tigers are 1 for 5 on 3rd down. This is another 3rd and long. And another 3rd and long from right around their goal line.
So Shelley will line him up in the gun, working from right to left with a couple of wide receivers to the near side, couple to the far side here with 3rd down and 9. Here's the snap to Shelley. He's going to put it in the air to the right side, connects with Bethel.
See where the spot is.
He's going to be a little short.
He really stretched that football. We'll see where they spot it. They're going to say it's a 4th down. Again, there's no going back to the well here, but I really think
that was close.
Yeah, it was. And I'm watching the replay here. Bethel, it's hard for me to see. He stretched that ball out, though. There's no change in the spot at this point, and Darlington will end up opting to punt this one away. One day maybe, Matt, high school will have that option to replay. I think that there's a good chance he got that ball across the marker. But
So Brinson Sumner on to punt it away after a 3-and-out here for the Tigers. Here's the snap. The kick is on the way, and it's going to have some good air underneath it. Fair catch was signaled at the 44-yard line, and that's where you're going to see North Cobb Christian set up shop, leading 14-3.
All right, Matt. We said it was imperative for Darlington to score. Now it's on the defense. It's all on the defense. They've got to get off the field here and get their offense the ball back. 21-3 might be too much to overcome with an offense that drains as much clock as this North Cobb Christian offense does with each possession.
Well, Ormsby will run his team back to line of scrimmage with a 14-3 lead with 10:44 left in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 with the ball on the 44. Eagles in their own territory. They'll line up in their base option formation, 2 wide receiver set. They're going to run it. Ball's on the turf, and who came up with it, we're going to find out here in just a couple of moments. I think they were able to cover.
They were. Another bad exchange between Cannon and Ormsby. Saw that ball go airborne for just a second off his face mask. He was able to wrangle it back in and actually fell forward to gain about a half a yard. But that puts them behind schedule. Darlington needs to follow that up with a good play on 2nd down and force that 3rd and long. And you know where they're going. They're going to run that same pass play again if you get them in 3rd and long. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But
2 wide receiver set. Quarterback under center, Ormsby here for 2nd down and 9. Here comes the snap. They're going to run the football with a quarterback. Stays up, finds a big hole. He is down at about the 35-yard line. Finally, ball came out at the end of the play, but I think he was down.
Yeah, Ormsby keeps on the option play there and follows the B back and picks up big yards. Made a real nice cut there to get the 1st down.
So the ball is on the 37-yard line now in Darlington territory. And as you mentioned, this is a really crucial drive here for the defense, needing a stop, already trailing 14-3 with a team that's possessed the ball. We don't have, stats on the possession time, but it's been North Cobb Christian most of the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 wide receivers, quarterback under center. That's Ormsby here on 1st and 10 with the ball on the 37 in Darlington territory. They're going to fake the handoff to the B-back. Quarterback runs around and gets down to the 29.
Same play, opposite direction. Ormsby picks up good yardage there on 1st down.
So that brings up 2nd and 2 here for the Eagles with the ball on the 29 as they get ready for this next play. 9 minutes and 2 seconds and time ticking here. And obviously North Cobb Christian, they're happy with eating as much of this clock as they possibly can.
Yeah. Built to play with a lead. That's the best way to describe this offense.
2 wide receiver set. Quarterback under center, Ormsby. He gets ready to take the snap. Man goes in motion. That's Williams. They're going to hand it off and go up the gut to try to get the extra couple of yards they need for the first down. They may be a little short.
Yeah, I think he got it. Second effort there. Yeah, they're going to move the sticks. I'm telling you, that B-back in this offense does all the work. I mean, even when they don't get the ball, they're getting smashed every play.
Ball is on the 26-yard line. Coming back to the line of scrimmage from the sidelines is Ryan Cooper bringing in a play call. Walker Ormsby, the senior quarterback, is going to send a couple of wide receivers out, one to the far side, one to the near side, otherwise in that base option formation. And here's the snap to Ormsby. He's going to hand it off to the B-back, finds a good running lane. He is down inside the 10, it looks like, or very close to it.
Yeah, picks up 16 yards there on first down, and it will be, depending on where the spot is, they may be able to pick up another first down just inside the 1. We'll see where they set this up.
Knows the ball's right on the 10.
Yeah, they will be able to pick up, well, I can't really tell from here, man. It looks like that stick is just shy of the pylon.
But nonetheless, North Cobb Christian, the Eagles go back to the line of scrimmage in the red zone at the 10-yard line with first down. And quarterback Ormsby getting ready to take the snap. He's got it in his hands, going to hand it off. Nope, keeps it, goes around to left side. There's that option pitch to Isaiah Williams, and he gets it down to about the 3.
And that's the first time we've seen the pitch tonight.
Is.
Crazy to say that here midway through the third quarter, but that's the first time we have seen the pitch play.
Well, it was effective.
Picked up about 6 yards. And they did go ahead and call that goal to go here, so it'll be second and goal from the 4.
So right now, North Cobb Christian in the huddle, threatening to score again with 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Darlington had the football to start the second half, trailing 14-3. Unfortunately, couldn't get that drive going, had some penalties and other things going on there, and went 3 and out. 2 wide receiver set, one to the near side, one to the far side. Ormsby under center, set to take the snap here from the 4-yard line. He's going to take it and run it right towards the end zone, and he is in. A 4-yard run there for Ormsby and another touchdown for North Cobb Christian.
And they took about half the time off the clock in the process as we're now down to 6 minutes, 35 seconds left in the third quarter, and the PAT pending. The Eagles lead 20-3.
Glad you're with us tonight here on WLAQ or the live video stream. And now on to kick the extra point is going to be Trey Stevens for North Cobb Christian. This would make it 21-3. There's the snap, the hold, the kick is on the way, and it is good. 21-3 is your score. And like you've pointed out many times, Ian, throughout the course of this broadcast, when you're down to a team like this, 21-3, it feels like you're down 41-3.
It really does. I mean, you know they're going to take and the other thing about this offense, if you allow them to get one first down, they get in rhythm, and they're going to pick up another and another and keep draining that clock. So Darlington has got to score on every possession the rest of this ballgame to have a chance to get back in, and they're going to have to get a 3 and out somewhere. They've got a steep hill to climb.
So things looking tough right now for the Darlington Tigers, but they are never out of the football game. And so let's see if they can climb back in it. This is another really just big, crucial opportunity here for the Darlington Tigers to try to get into the end zone here on this next drive after North Cobb took 21-3 lead after scoring on that last possession. So back out to attempt to return the kick is Luke McDermott. He is standing around the 5-yard line, backed up against his own goal line. Kicking it away here momentarily is going to be Trey Stevens for North Cobb Christian, and they will get it teed up just as we hear Van Halen play Everybody Wants Some.
You want some too?
I want some too. It makes me think of that John Cusack movie, Better Off Dead, and the cartoon food scene in that movie. It's pretty funny.
That one's going to go out of bounds.
Yes, it is. So that's a gift to the Darlington Tigers. They're going to have good field position, which has been a rarity in this game.
It has. They've been in the shadow of their own goal line pretty much all night. With the exception of that onside kick they recovered that set them up with really good field position. But Darlington's got to get something positive going. They've gone 3 and out 4 times tonight. Just haven't been able to find any rhythm on offense except for one drive that ended up yielding a field goal, not a touchdown. But, Matt, it's safe to say at this point they've got to score and score touchdowns every time they get the ball if they're going to get back in this game and have a chance to win.
As the song is playing, it could be sending a signal. Van Halen's Right Now. That is absolutely when the Tigers need to get this game going, is absolutely right now. 3 wide receivers to the far side, a couple to the near, and you're going to have Shelley with an empty backfield here on first down to start this drive. There's the snap. Shelley looks to the right, now back to the left. He's going to tuck this football and run out of bounds after a pickup of 5 yards, so making a positive gain with his legs.
Stay ahead of the chains right now. You need a score, but you don't need to rush it here. You just need to get the score by any means necessary. Be great if it was quick, but if this has to be a methodical drive, so be it.
We have 6 minutes and 27 seconds left. We're still in the third quarter, so there is still time left in this game for the Tigers to mount a comeback. 3 wide receivers to the far side, 2 on the near, still an empty backfield for this down. 2nd and 5. There's the snap, and a pass is going to be completed to Bowden Owens, and he's going to be dropped after about a 3-yard gain.
And a real nice tackle there by Nate Watson, number 25 of the Eagles, as Shelley did a good job moving around in the pocket. He found Bowden Owens, and he was tackled immediately. But they did get positive yardage, sets up a 3rd and 3. It's 4-down territory the rest of the way as well, wouldn't you say, Matt?
It is very possible that we have reached that point of the game, given the nature of how things have gone. Shotgun formation, empty backfield for 3rd down and 3. Ball on the 42. Tigers trying to get out of their own territory, and that would have been a first down, but unfortunately, Thomas Speed, who's very sure-handed, couldn't hang on to the pass. It was a dart.
It was a dart, absolutely, and sometimes on those short passes, if there's a lot of heat on it, those are tough to pull in, but I'm sure that Thomas Speed is not happy with the fact he didn't reel that one in. Sets up 4th and 3, and indeed, the Tigers are keeping the offense on the field. I think it's the right call, Matt.
I agree with you. Shotgun formation, empty backfield, 5 wide receiver set as we get ready to roll here at Darlington School. We're at Chris Hunter Stadium tonight. Darlington trailing this one 21-3 to North Cobb Christian. Things have not gone the Tigers' way so far throughout the course of this football game. Shelley getting ready to take the snap here, trying to convert a 4th and 3. And here's the snap. He drops back, throws up the middle of the field, connects with a wide receiver, McKay Rush, getting his first target of the game. And that is a first down.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've called his name this year.
I don't either, but a big play. So the first time he gets his name called, it is a game-saving play. It's freshman. So
that was unbelievable.
Big play for him, and that's a name maybe we'll be calling for the next 3 years.
Perhaps so. Shotgun formation. Now they're going to have Allen in the backfield for 1st and 10 on North Cobb Christian side of the field. They're going to throw a pass to Allen out of the backfield, and he's able to pick up a chunk of yards. They got a little something going here.
They sure do. I mean, getting a first down allows you to get in rhythm. And the Tigers have not had many opportunities to find that rhythm offensively tonight.
Couple of wide receivers on each side, and when we look back on this game, you can say that part of the spark was McKay Rush, a freshman, getting his first catch in the game. Shelley gets ready to take the snap. He's going to pitch it to the near side to Allen, who finds some room to run and scampers out of bounds after picking up the first down, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice play there, bringing the option in. Give them a taste of their own medicine there.
Why not?
Yeah.
So now the Tigers have 1st and 10, and this is a pretty good drive they're putting together with the ball on the 36-yard line on North Cobb's side of the field. Changing some personnel here before they go back to the line. Allen's off. Darius Smith is on. And now you're going to have couple of wide receivers to the near side, one on the far side. Man goes in motion. That's Bethel. They're going to hand it to the motion man. Trick play. They're coming back to Shelley, who's going to run the football down the sideline. Stays up, breaks a tackle. He's in the red zone. What a play. You knew a trick play was coming, and there it was.
Yeah, Thomas Bethel comes across on what looks like a jet sweep. I thought he was going to roll out and look downfield, but instead he throws back to Shelley. DJ Davis, great block, and then Luke Lewis does a really good job of squaring up and avoiding a block in the back there to spring Shelley for a big gain.
So now you're going to line up 1st and 10 in the red zone. The Tigers, they're in the red zone. Mm-hmm. 3 wide receivers. There's the snap. Going to fake, go play action. Quarterback puts the ball in the air. It's to Allen. He is not able to hang on. Yeah. Almost had it reeled in.
Really nice play design there as Shelley went play action to Allen, rolled out to his right, and it was a throwback. And it was a catchable ball. Allen just couldn't reel it in.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10 here for the Tigers at the 17-yard line. In the red zone, threatening to score in this football game with 5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter.
And they've done a good job here. There is not a lot, they've run about a minute and a half off the clock if they can get in the end zone. That's just a bonus that they've been able to do it without using much of the clock.
Empty backfield for 2nd and 10. There's the snap. Shelley drops back, throws up the middle of the field, and that is going to be incomplete.
Get a flag.
But there is a flag. That'll be a pass interference.
A dangerous pass there. He threw that into a lot of traffic, but they're going to get bailed out here with a pass interference. Now, what's the rule here as far as automatic first downs on a pass interference? I know Steve has checked me on that a couple of times this year. See where they end up marking it. I just don't want to say anything matter of fact here.
Marching off the yards right now.
Yeah, and it is not a first down. It is not an automatic first down in high school football. So that sets Darlington up with a 2nd and 1. Yeah.
Yep. So 2nd and 1 here for the Tigers as they've got something going here. Getting kind of close to late in the third quarter, trailing 21-3. They absolutely have to have a touchdown on this drive. Allen in the backfield, 3 wide set on the far side. 1 is on the near. That's Simpkins. Darlington working right to left in the red zone. There's the snap. They're going to fake the handoff. Quarterback runs towards the end zone, and that'll be an 8-yard scamper for a touchdown. Patrick Shelley does it with his legs, and Darlington climbs a little bit closer.
Yeah, read option there. Shelley pulls it and gets up the middle for a must-have touchdown. And the Tigers have life here with 4 minutes and 52 seconds left in the third quarter. Had to have that, Matt. Had to send a message to North Cobb Christian that they're not going to quit in this game.
And we're going to have a timeout here before the extra point. We're going to keep it right here through this particular timeout. Ian, have you seen any more scores?
I haven't had a chance to look. This has been an action-packed third quarter, so let's take a look and see what we have. I know Rome was up 28-14 at halftime over Alexander, an offensive explosion for the Wolves. They've really struggled to score much of the season, so Rockmart's up 17-zip over Adairsville. Cartersville 35-0 over Woodland. Pepperell 14-0 over Model. Tryon is up 35-7 over Armurchie at the half. Calhoun 44-0 over Cass at the half. And Dade County leads Coosa 14-7 in the second quarter.
Thank you very much. And, of course, our scores are brought to you by Rome Orthopedic Center. You can hear all the final scores tonight on the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show with Randy Davis and Lynn Butler. And right now we're in a timeout because we have a player that is currently down on the field. And, of course, coaches out there and trainers working with him right now. One of the Darlington Tigers.
That's Luke Lewis.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. And he's not able to put any weight on that left ankle. And Lewis is really the heart and soul of this defense. So that's tough. Tough to see.
Indeed it is.
Okay.
And like you say, really having to have some help coming off the field. And, you know, one of the things that we've seen throughout the year here for the Darlington Tigers, we've had an injury or two here and there, but not any really significant ones. And, I know DJ Johnson, who's an integral part of the line there, lost him for a couple weeks, and but overall, I would say from the injury standpoint, feel pretty good about the way things have gone. But the way that he was coming off the field, that didn't look too good.
It didn't look good. Definitely some emotion on his face too. So hate to see that. He's not only a great defender, but as most of these Darlington Tigers, they play both ways. So he's on that offensive line as well. So that's a huge loss for the Tigers.
Tigers are on to kick the extra point, and right now North Cobb leads at 21-9, pending this extra point attempt from Brinson Sumner here in a couple of moments. So Tigers a little bit closer here in this one, and as you pointed out several times throughout that drive, I mean, they just absolutely had to have it, and they stepped up and they got the point. So let's see if they can keep marching forward here in this football game, make things interesting as we go through the game. So Sumner on to attempt the extra point. On with the hold is going to be Jack Payne. Here comes the snap from Mason McKenzie. The hold looks good. The kick is up, and it is through the uprights. It's 21-10.
And they have got the lead back down to 11 for the Eagles and have given themselves a fighting chance with just under 5 minutes left in the third quarter. But a devastating loss for this Tigers team if Luke Lewis cannot come back and play in this game, and that injury looked like it would at least keep him sidelined the rest of this night.
So again, right now North Cobb Christian on top, 21-10 over the Darlington Tigers. Still plenty of time left to go in this football game, but that was a big score there for Darlington and their chances to stay in this football game, have a shot to win it at the end of the night.
And now it's on the defense. They've got to go out there and get a stop, get the offense the ball back. You've sent a message. Now, sometimes, Matt, you never want to see any of your guys go down to an injury, but it can inspire a team to put a little bit of extra effort out there. And obviously, this team is tight-knit. We've seen it. They rally together. They fight back. So they're going to take that and try to use it as inspiration to fight back even harder, I think.
And I will say this, seeing now that Steve Conrad doesn't live close enough to Rome and I'll finish that sentence here in just a moment, but Sumner's on to kick it off. It's another onside kick.
They got it.
And they got it again. That would be the second time tonight that they would attempt and recover an onside kick.
Yes, sir. They have got it.
Unbelievable.
And we have watched this team line up, and we've watched Brinson Sumner kick it out of the back of the end zone almost all season.
And you can really hear the coaches sitting next to us in the booth, that just a partition between us, getting pretty animated over how that went. That is twice in one game that Darlington has executed successfully an onside kick and recovered the football and stole a possession here from North Cobb Christian.
Yes, they have. And they won't be going 3 and out this time because it's 4-down territory the rest of the way, I think. And the Tigers have responded here and have a chance to pull this within 4 points.
They're never out of the game. Empty backfield here as they've run most of the time here in the second half. 5 wide receiver set. Shelley's going to put it in the air. He's going to connect with his receiver, but can't hang on to the football, unfortunately. Bow to no, and that's going to be an incomplete pass.
That pass was on target, just couldn't reel it in. And that'll set up a 2nd and 10.
But
and the Darlington receivers have been sure-handed all season tonight. We've seen more drops than I think in a game than we've seen all year.
But what I was going to say is, since Steve is not living close enough to do the games as far as play-by-play, he has now become our rules analyst. I got a text from him I'll share with you in a minute.
Good. He keeps me in check. That's why I put it out there.
Shotgun formation. They're going to swing it out to Gabe Simpkins, who's got some green grass. He gets it down to the 35-yard line. Not quite as big a play as it looked like it was going to develop into, but nonetheless, that is going to get them close to a first down if they didn't move the chains.
Looks just shy.
So Darlington, all of a sudden, that offense has really come to life here in this second half. They trail 21-10, but have an opportunity here with 4:15 left to go in the third quarter with the ball on the 35-yard line in North Cobb territory. There's the snap. They're going to Allen. He is greeted by a bunch of traffic. Actually got caught between a couple of his blockers and got brought down by one of the Eagles.
Yeah, he got nothing. He ran into a brick wall there. And that sets up a crucial 4th and 1. That puts Darlington at 1 and 8 on 3rd down for the evening.
So the Tigers with a crucial 4th down and 1 coming up with the ball right at the 35-yard line in Eagles territory. They will go back to the line of scrimmage. Allen in the backfield, 4 wide receiver set. Shelley set to take the snap. Ball's in his hands. He goes to left, pitches left to Allen, gets tripped up, and he is short.
Oh, Matt, that is a tough one to swallow for the Darlington Tigers. They recovered 2 onside kicks tonight. They had 7 cracks at a first down, and they did not get one. And that is just soul-crushing right there. Credit the Eagle defense. They played that perfectly, but they had a short yard to get and 2 downs to get it and could not pick it up.
So this will be the 3rd. Well, now North Cobb Christian is going to come back to the line of scrimmage after the turnover on downs from the Tigers. Ball's going to be on the 37-yard line as they set up shop in their base formation with 2 wide receivers, 1 split on each side. Hornsby under center, getting ready to take the snap. He has got it. He's going to hand it off. They go with the B-back dive, and they gash him for about 6.
Yeah,
that's tough.
That dive play to Cannon. And the Eagles will look to just methodically drive this down the field if they can.
We have 3:14 left in the 3rd quarter with the Eagles leading at 21-10, so still time for Darlington to get back in it.
And you see Davis Watson out there communicating with his teammates, trying to step up and be the leader they need with Luke Lewis on the sideline.
Ormsby under center, getting ready to take the snap with 2 wide receivers. 2nd and 3, there it is. They're going to hand it off, and defense did a good job stopping that dive that time.
Yeah, bad exchange there. We've seen that a few times, and that's one of the things you do see with this option offense. Some nights the ball hits the turf. It just does, and they've had some problems there, but we're able to get back on top of that one. Darlington sure could use a break at this point in the game.
3rd down and 3 here for the Eagles, leading at 21-10 with 2:22 left here in the 3rd quarter. Ball is at the 45-yard line. 2 wide receiver set. Quarterback under center set to take the snap, and there it is. He's going to hand it off. Nope, going to be a pitch play to Isaiah Williams. That's the 2nd time we've seen that option, and it was effective. He got the 1st down.
He sure did. Darlington played that really well up the middle, but Williams was able to bounce the outside. Looked like they might have a chance to wrangle him in, but he was able to cut back inside and get the yardage he needed to pick up the 1st down.
And earlier in the game with the pass interference, the explanation that we got from Steve was yardage foul only. Only roughing penalties are automatic 1st downs in high school.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
I watch way too much college and NFL.
North Cobb back to the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10. Going to have 2 wide receivers working from left to right at midfield. And Ormsby taking the snap. He is going to hand it off. They'll run that dive again and get about 3 yards before he's brought down.
Darlington's got to get off the field here, Matt. Got to make a play. And they've done a decent job against the dive on 1st down throughout this game. 2nd down's been a real killer for them, though.
We're almost down to the 1-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Obviously, North Cobb Christian certainly going to take their time. We've got 24 seconds left on the play clock. They'll come back from the huddle with 2nd down and 6 forthcoming from the Darlington 45-yard line. 2 wide receiver set. Ormsby is under center. Man goes in motion. There's the snap. He's dropping back, looking to throw. He's going to make a nice pass to number 23, Luke Beverly, and they got the 1st down. He's going to be brought down. But his forward motion got it by a good margin.
And Ormsby, has he had an incomplete pass tonight?
I don't think so.
I think
he was 6 for 6 in the 1st half.
Yeah, perfect on the night.
And again, just because they don't pass it a tremendous amount in this triple option Paul Johnson style offense, that doesn't mean it's not effective in part of what you do with your game.
Every one of they've run the same pass play, either left or right, all night long. He's got 2 options, and one of them has been there each and every time. Credit to him that he's delivered on target.
Ormsby under center, 2 wide receivers here on 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line, There's the snap. Quarterback's going to run this football, and he stays up and gets down to almost the line to gain, not quite. He's about the 27, it looks like.
And Matt, that will do it for the 3rd quarter. And they played them to a draw in the third quarter, still trailing by 11.
Well, we're going to take a timeout here on WLAQ. North Cobb Christian here visiting tonight. They're up 21-10 as we get ready for the final 12 minutes of football from Chris Hunter Stadium. We'll step out for 1 minute. Well, the current drive that North Cobb Christian has going right now, the Eagles leading this one 21-10, ate up the final 3 minutes and 14 seconds of the third quarter of this football game and now carries over into the fourth quarter. So here comes North Cobb Christian back to the line of scrimmage, now working from right to left with a second down and 2 forthcoming here on this next play. Again, leading this game over Darlington 21-10 if you've just tuned in with us. Ormsby will line them up under center in their base formation, 2 wide set. Man goes in motion. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to keep it, and it looked like they were going with the B-back that time. He would keep the football on the quarterback option and would go down to about the 15-yard line.
Other than a few bad exchanges, Ormsby has played a flawless game quarterbacking this option offense. He's made all the right decisions as this night has gone on.
That'll be a first down, and now the football is in the red zone, and you almost feel like if North Cobb Christian finds their way into the end zone, that might be the final nail. I hate to call it that early, but the way things have gone in this football game, it certainly would feel that way. 2 wide receiver set, quarterback Ormsby under center here on 1st and 10 from the 20, and he is going to run the football again, it looked like on that play, picking up 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, it's just a quarterback follow. They've got it working, so they're not going away from it right now. They're picking up the yardage they need to keep the chains moving and the clock moving.
We're almost to the 11-minute mark. Again, this drive started, I believe, with 3:14 left there in that third quarter. And they've already chewed up the first minute of the final quarter with it so far. And they get ready to go back to the line of scrimmage with 2nd down and 5. With the ball now spotted on the 12-yard line. So red zone possession here for North Cobb Christian, looking to add to their lead. Ormsby up under center will take the snap on 2nd down, gives it to the B-back this time, and that is Cannon, who picks up maybe a yard or 2. Didn't get a whole lot there.
No, not much at all there. Well defended.
So that brings up a 3rd down situation here, and Darlington just desperately needs to get a stop here.
3rd and 3. Here's an opportunity.
Ball is on the 11-yard line in the red zone. North Cobb Christian with the football.
Both teams with their full complement of timeouts.
Ormsby's going to roll up under center for this play again. 2 wide receivers, 1 on each side. And Ormsby set to take the snap on 3rd down. He's got it in his hands. Back to the B-back. Quick note. Quarterback kept it and dives towards the end zone. That was a great play. He gets it to the 3.
Ormsby, again, makes the right call, pulls that ball, and follows the A-back into the holes, and it was a great game.
1st and goal from the 3 now for North Cobb Christian with 9:35 left. Obviously, they're going to take as much time as possible between plays and milk as much of the clock as they possibly can, and obviously hoping North Cobb Christian's hoping to score again. So wide receiver off to the far side, 1 to the near side. Ormsby under center with 10 seconds left on the play clock. He takes the snap. He fakes the handoff, follows towards the end zone, but the Tigers hold strong and close the door on him.
Yeah, that time Ormsby ran the follow play, and Harrison Allen greeted him rudely at the goal line. It was him and Darius Smith on the tackle. Nice play there by the Tiger defense.
That brings up 2nd and goal with the ball on the 2 here for North Cobb Christian. Another goal line stand in this football game for the defense. Ormsby under center. Wide receiver off the far side, one to the near side. Man goes in motion. They're going to pitch a toss sweep to the motion man. Nobody's there, and he's able to score on a 2-yard run. That was number 25, I believe, Nate Watson.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, that's the option at its finest right there, man. They had lulled him to sleep, quarterback follow, dive, quarterback follow, and then you run that pitch play, and it was wide open. I mean, it was just an easy walk into the end zone, and that, Matt, with 8 minutes to go, that's going to be too much for Darlington to overcome.
It certainly feels that way. On to attempt the extra point is Trey Stevens. This would put North Cobb Christian ahead 28-10, and it does. The kick is good.
Credit Luke McDermott there, who came off the edge and almost got in there and got a hand on that kick.
So a tough night so far here for the Darlington Tigers. Have had opportunities in this football game, but unfortunately hadn't been able to capitalize as much as they would like to, and that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, really, Darlington's done everything they could possibly do to give themselves an opportunity to be right in this football game. They just haven't been able to move it on offense. When you're 1 for 8, 1 for 9 on 3rd down, 1 for 2 on 4th, that's a tough stat. That's a telling stat.
When we talked about North Cobb Christian comes to the game 6-1, 1-0 in the region, ranked in the top 10, I believe at number 7 coming in this football game. Their offense is ranked number 6 in the state in this classification, scoring a little over 34 points a game. Right now, a little under that average, but they've been doing what they've done week in, week out. This is just a good option football team that comes out and executes what they do well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Darlington has had that tendency to play from behind, and when you're playing an option team like this, playing from behind it just makes it all that much more difficult.
Well, Stevens is going to kick it off here for North Cobb Christian, and bringing it out is going to be McDermott, who fields it at about the 5-yard line and just really can't get anything going. By the time he got a little bit of steam going, the kick coverage was already down the field.
Yeah, high kick and then a high bounce. He let that hit around the 5, and that took him a minute just to field the ball. So by the time he could get his motor running, he was surrounded by Eagle defenders. And Darlington once again starts just outside their 10-yard line. I'm telling you, if it can go wrong, it has for the Tigers. They have fought, but it has been an uphill battle from the first whistle.
So the Tigers will have one last gasp here to try to climb back in this thing. One of the interesting stats of the game is they've attempted 2 onside kicks, which they recovered both, but unfortunately didn't score either time.
Neither time. Couldn't cash in on turnovers and opportunities like that tonight.
Shelley lines them up 1st and 10 from the 10. There's the snap. Going to throw a quick pass. North Cobb got their hands up, deflected it, and it was almost in danger of being intercepted.
Yeah, it was. Tried to get that one out quick, but pressure was coming off the edge. I did not get the number even on the replay of the Eagle defender that went up and got that, but solid play.
That's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Tigers from their own 10 with 8:17 left on the clock in the football game, trailing this one 28-10 at home. Next week, hitting the road to close out the regular season at Walker against the Wolverines. There's a snap. Shelley drops back, looking to throw, puts the ball in the air, and that is incomplete.
Yeah, he had Gabo and McDermott in that area, but that one didn't come particularly close to either of them, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
So Darlington back at the line of scrimmage for 3rd and 10 from the 10, and this drive hadn't been able to get started really. 25 seconds on the play clock. Shelley going to send 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. In the backfield is Darius Smith with Shelley. There's a snap, drops back 3 steps, puts it in the air, and it's going to be incomplete. Ball came out over on the sidelines,
Did. Okay.
So that brings up 4th and 10. They'll have to punt the football away.
Yeah, no choice but to kick this one away on 4th and 10 from your own 11. So Brenton Sumner, who has had a busy night in all phases of the kicking game, will come out for another punt and another punt where he's standing in his own end zone.
Very quiet here over on the Darlington side of things. There's the kick, and fielding it is going to be John Greer. Nope, it's going to be rolling back to around the 40-yard line. Takes a nice bounce.
Yeah. Sumner's done a great job. He's had his work cut out for him tonight. I think that was the 4th punt for him out of Darlington's end zone. So that's a great punt, and North Cobb Christian will take over at their own 40-yard line, leading 28-10 with 7 minutes and 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Well, glad you're with us tonight. Unfortunately, Darlington fans, not a real happy story tonight for you. Darlington trailing 28-10 to North Cobb Christian with 7:52 left to go in the football game. Still a little bit of time left, but things not looking too good for the Tigers tonight. Quarterback is going to roll up under center. That's going to be Ormsby. He'll send a wide receiver to each side of the formation, working from right to left. There's the snap. Going to pitch it to the right and run a tall sweep. And staying up, breaking a tackle or two, is going to be number 33, Shenard Banks, and he picked up a chunk of yards.
He sure did. Went with that sweep play, and Banks was able to get out on the edge, cut up down the sideline, and I don't know, he's just shy of the first down.
That brings up. They're moving the chains.
They're moving
actually.
the chains. Okay.
Yep. I thought he was going to be a yard short, but not so much. So that's going to be right at the middle of the field at the 50-yard line as North Cobb Christian gets ready to run back to the line of scrimmage here momentarily after their huddle, leading this thing 28-10 with 7:43 left to go in the football game. And again, just really, really quiet here on Darlington's side of the field.
It's an unfamiliar territory for the Tigers and their fans. They have been in every game they've played this season.
So Ormsby getting ready to take the snap. He's got it. He's going to hand it off, but a flag comes in.
I think we're going to get a procedure penalty. Yep, delay. That'll back them up 5 yards. The first mistake we have seen from them this half, really.
So 5-yard penalty, bringing up first down and 15 coming up. Stay tuned after tonight's game. We're going to have a brief wrap-up in which we award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake player of the game. And then after that, we'll turn it over to Lynn and RD for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show. Two wide receiver set. Same formation pretty much all night here from North Cobb Christian. They're going to hand it off, go with the B-back dive, and they get back the penalty yards back to the original line of scrimmage.
Caleb Cannon on the carry, picks up 5.
So that'll set up second down and 10 here for the Eagles, and more importantly for their cause, time ticking off the clock.
Yeah, that is just what the doctor ordered if you are a North Cobb Christian fan. And they will take their time in the huddle, and they will let that play clock continue just to trickle down each and every opportunity they get.
Tigers wrap up the regular season next weekend after playing 10 straight weeks with a visit to the Walker School, then a bye week, then the playoffs. Two wide receivers. Ormsby ready to take the snap, and they're going to hand it off again. This time the B-back's going to run towards the near side. That's Cannon. He's got some room to run and going to be brought down eventually by Patrick Shelley at the 25.
And that's the first time. I mean, he's gotten 3, 4, 5 yards this half several times, but Cannon was able to take that one and bounce it to the outside. Nice stiff arm, and Patrick Shelley was able to get him out of bounds, but not until he was to the 25-yard line of Darlington.
So North Cobb Christian Eagles with a 28-10 lead. It's got a first down and the ball at the 25-yard line on Darlington's side of the field. Working from right to left, two wide receivers, man goes in motion. They're going to hand it off and go up the middle with it again. I'm satisfied to try to get a few yards and take some more clock, and Not a lot doing on that play.
I tell you what, this offense is just it'll beat the life out of you as the game goes on like this. This Darlington defense they've put it all on the field, but they have been out there a lot of snaps tonight. And these guys go both ways. I get that. They're on the field. They're used to being on the field for the duration of a game. But tonight the offense just hasn't been able to sustain drives, so this defense has just been – seems like they've been out there all night.
You are 100% correct on your assessment. It's been a very tough night. Ormsby under center, second down and 9.
Oh,
flag.
Yeah, that's on Banks there as he came out of his stance. That'll be a penalty.
Do want to invite you to tune in Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays during the week to WLAQ 96.9 FM, 1410 AM, or WLAQ1410.com, or Facebook Live from one of our pages. We stream that from both the WLAQ and Northwest Georgia Sports Live page, but it's Northwest Georgia Sports Live, all local sports talk 3 days a week for an hour.
We have a pretty good time.
We really do. We do. 2 wide receiver set here on this second down and 14 play. There's a snap. Quarterback is going to run. Great pursuit by the defense.
Yeah, that's the best they've played that particular option play all night long, as they were able to get Ormsby right there at the line of scrimmage. Great tackle by Gatlin Hancock there.
Gatlin Hancock, one of the linemen here for the Darlington Tigers. And he is just a sophomore, so we're going to get to watch that young man play a couple more years after this.
And it's always interesting to see how Tommy Atha pieces these teams together, but he gets the most out of every player that comes through this program. That we have no doubt.
Oh, no question. Quarterback under center, Cannon is the B-back here on this play, as we've seen throughout the night. We got a timeout. We're going to take one as well. North Cobb Christian 28, Darlington 10, 5:02 left in the football game. We'll be back in 30 seconds. We have a couple of score updates for you. Just received word from Jeff Gable, who is part of the broadcast team for the Model Blue Devils. Model's defense has held strong tonight against Pepperell, but Pepperell still leads that game at the end of the third quarter, 14-0.
Another update, Coosa in the third quarter leads Dade County 21-14. The Eagles sure could use a win after getting upset by Gordon Central last week.
North Cobb Christian with the ball and the lead. They've got 3rd and 13 forthcoming with the ball at the 29-yard line in Darlington side of the field. North Cobb Christian leading 28-10. They're going to hand the football off, run a sweep around the right side, and it looks like they got the first down with Mr. Shenard Banks.
Yeah, and Banks has been able to get out on the edge there. Again, that dive play. You run it. You keep it between the tackles, and just when you're expecting that's all they're going to do, they'll pop one to the outside.
And these guys have, you got a lot of leadership on this team. Guys have been playing this offense for several years. They execute it at a high level, and they've got the right players to run it. They have a lot of speed. They have some size, as you talked about, on the line of scrimmage. On that B-back position, Cannon runs the ball really hard. So they've done a great job. They're fun to watch.
Yeah.
Ormsby is under center. Man goes in motion. They're going to hand it to the motion man, Isaiah Williams. He'll be brought down after about a 5-yard pickup.
You know as well as I do, though, that this offense all flows through the quarterback and their decision-making. So we really have to give Walker Ormsby a lot of credit tonight. He has gone to the right places with the ball about 95% of the time. So give that kid a lot of credit for how he's executed.
He runs this offense about as well as Justin Thomas did for the Yellow Jackets
he might not be quite the athlete Justin Thomas was, but Justin
the decision
Thomas was fun
making.
to watch. Yes, absolutely. And if you go even further back than that, you know, Paul Johnson, Justin Thomas, and Josh Nesbitt would be the two that did it the best there.
Quarterback under center. Ormsby takes the snap. He's going to hand the ball off to Isaiah Williams.
Man.
And
I think Darius Smith just took a game's worth of frustration out on that tackle as he pretty much power bombed. He pancaked the lead blocker, Cannon, and then just slung the ball carrier to the ground. Great play there by Darius Smith.
3:17 left in the football game with 3rd and 2 coming up here for North Cobb Christian. Man comes in with the play call from the sidelines, relays the message to the quarterback, Ormsby, and now they go back to the line of scrimmage with 18 seconds left on the play clock. Ormsby will take a little bit more time before taking the snap. We're under 3 minutes to play now. Man goes in motion. They will toss sweep to Isaiah. He dives towards the end zone's dropped at about the 4-yard line, slung to the turf.
And he didn't get to the end zone, but he got to the sticks, and that'll set up 1st and goal at the 3.
Joe Marion flung him down pretty hard there.
Yeah, I'd say these defenders are taking a little of their frustrations out, but you know what? It's football.
Absolutely.
So they can be as long as they play within the confines of the game, then they can be as rough as they want out there, right, Matt?
It comes with the territory. There's no question about it.
And it's good to hear these fans supporting their Tigers to the very end of this ball game.
Looking for a stand here defensively towards the end of the game. 2:15 left. Man goes in motion. There's the snap. They go with the B-back dive on this play, and he is stopped short at about the 3. That was a good defensive stop.
That was Harrison Allen on the tackle, along with he was assisted by Joey Kite.
So now that brings up 2nd down for North Cobb Christian. Right now we're at the 148 mark. North Cobb Christian leading this one 28-10. Being held about a touchdown under their average for the season. They score about 34.4 points a game. Darlington would like to keep it that way.
They would. And they've got a tall task in front of them now. Again, North Cobb Christian's not going to be in a hurry here as we're under 1.5 minutes to play in this thing.
And they're going to take a knee.
They are. And we'll see if Darlington decides to take a timeout or if they concede.
It looks like they will not take the timeout, Ian.
Yeah, at 28-10 with this lead, Darlington will just look to put this one behind them and get ready for Walker next week.
So we're under the minute mark to play now. As you're about to see North Cobb Christian waltz off the field tonight with a victory here, and their record will move to 7-1, 2-0 in region play, and they still have everything in front of them.
They sure do, Matt, and a tough loss for the Tigers tonight. The first of this nature all season. They've been in it to the buzzer every game, but not tonight. Tonight, North Cobb Christian just did everything they needed to do to win this game in commanding fashion.
Darlington's record falls to 5-4 for the season. They are 1-2 in region play. By getting that win against Mount Perrin Christian at home a couple of weeks ago, secured a playoff spot, and at this point in time, obviously not going to get a home playoff game unless something crazy happens, I suppose. I don't know if there's a scenario where that could happen anymore, looking what's remaining on the schedule. So at this point in time, you just want to make sure you go out and take care of business next week at Walker and find yourself at least in that number 3 spot so you can avoid Fellowship Christian in the first round of playoffs. You do not want that. That is for sure.
If they can dodge them, they certainly need to. We expect the Tigers to bounce back next week, but this will be a tough one to shake off. Tough loss last week. This one was of a different variety. I really feel like the Tigers, they took some chances. They went for those 2 onside kicks. They were able to convert those, and they just couldn't capitalize on their opportunities this week.
It was just a tough night, but again, you really have to tip your cap to the way that North Cobb Christian, the Eagles, came out in this football game. They're a very, very well-coached team. They execute the option offense at a high level. They played a great game, and they came out with the win tonight here at what can be a really tough place to play against the Darlington Tigers. And so the series in terms of these two teams now goes to 3-2, and I got a feeling in the future if they stay in the same region and play each other, we're going to see some tough battles with these teams in the history of this series.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. We said it before the game. This is a very upperclassman-laden team that North Cobb brought into the stadium tonight, and that showed. They executed and played a very clean game, and you got to tip your cap.
You do. Well, we're going to send it back to the studio for a timeout, look over some statistical data from the game, and determine who will win tonight's Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. But unfortunately tonight, Darlington falls in this football game with a final score of 28-10. That is our final, and we'll send it back to the studio for a few minutes. We'll come back and wrap things up by the lakeside at Chris Hunter Stadium.
Luke Lewis. I mean, it's more of a symbolic thing.
Heart and soul, and as you mentioned, let's do it.
He might not play another game this season. I don't know how bad that injury is. Stacey, did you hear anything about that?
Well, we're going to wrap things up here in just a few moments, and do want to take an opportunity to thank Stacey Norton and also Melvin Scott for providing us with statistics. We'll run those down real quick, and then we'll award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game and wrap things up and get ready for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show. Darlington falls short tonight, 28-10. And that was the final score. North Cobb Christian comes away with a win, keeps their region record perfect. And Darlington, as far as statistics go, Harrison Allen would have 13 carries for 34 yards. Patrick Shelley would have 7 carries for 24 yards and a touchdown for the Tigers. Also passing, Shelley was 8 of 17 for 54 yards. Then you would have 1 pass from Thomas Bethel, and that would be 1 pass for 20 yards. Receiving yards, you would have 2 catches for 11 yards for Thomas Bethel, 1 catch for 10 yards for Darius Smith. For Harrison Allen, 1 catch for 6 yards, 1 catch for 2 yards for Bowden Owens. Then we would have a catch for McKay Rush, 1 catch for 7 yards, and got him a first down. So that was a big play for the Tigers.
It really was.
Then you had Thomas Speed with 1 catch for 9 yards, and Gabe Simpkins 1 catch for 9 yards. As far as tackles are concerned, Darius Smith had 9, Harrison Allen had 6, Tyler Watkins, I should say, has 5. Joe Marion had 5. He also had a fumble recovery. Real good game for Joe Marion. He was a little bit everywhere tonight. Patrick Shelley would have 3 tackles. Thomas Speed had 7, 2 for Luke McDermott. Number 50, Christian McClooney, had 8. Number 64, Joey Kite would have 3. DJ Johnson had 2, and Davis Watson had 2.
Yeah, I mean, look, Darlington, they put it all out on the field. It just wasn't enough tonight. And there was a moment there in the third quarter after they scored that touchdown, put together a great drive to cut it to 21-10, and then attempted their second onside kick of the night and recovered it. And you felt like, okay, here they come. But they went 4 and out, and from there, North Cobb Christian was able to milk away the clock and get out of here with a 28-10 victory. Tough one for Darlington to swallow, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And speaking of cookies, we have a Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game to decide upon. Yeah,
and right now as we get ready to award that, we just saw head coach Tommy Atha coming over to Luke Lewis, who is on crutches out of his uniform. Took a pretty nasty hit and has an injury and doesn't look good. He's on crutches. Who knows what the situation is with that at this point in time. Right now, Davis Watson walking off the field with him. So it's good to see him back out there with his teammates there at the end of the game, but he may not be playing football for a little while.
Yeah, and it's not often that we look through this stat sheet and we don't see number 54 with a tackle by his name. He may have made one, and we didn't know about it, but I tell you what we've been doing all season long is calling Luke Lewis's number, and it's obvious from the booth here that he is the emotional leader of this team, starting on the offensive and defensive lines. So tonight, we're going to throw stats to the wayside and say Luke Lewis is our Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game.
Great call. So Luke Lewis is our winner tonight, and certainly hope that young man is going to recover quickly from whatever type of injury that he had tonight. Hate to see that happen. That certainly affects the Tigers in terms of what they do on the football field, because as you mentioned, him being the heart and soul and just getting everything he has to it and being a leader on the field, that's something they'll have to overcome as they get ready for a game coming up next week, which will be the final week of the regular season before they have a bye week, which is good that they have that bye week now that they're a little banged up in certain areas at the end of the season to get prepared for the playoffs a week after that. So, Darlington unfortunately falls tonight. More than likely, I think they'll end up with that number 3 seed. And looking at the other side, if you look at the projections, I think Mount Pisgah Christian is projected to get that number 2 seed out of the region that we face up against. And so, you certainly hope that is the matchup you get. Not taking anything away from Mount Pisgah because they're a good football team, but I'm not sure they're on the level that Fellowship Christian is on. So certainly want to at least grab that number 3 spot.
Yeah, and I think the message you're going to get from Tommy Atha is let's not let North Cobb Christian beat us twice. Well, we've got to shake this off and move on to next week and get the best position we can for the playoffs. and I expect that from this Tiger team. They'll shake it off and show up next week ready to play.
Well, Ian, that's going to put a wrap on our broadcast. Do want to take one more opportunity to thank the video crew here at Darlington. They do a great job. Get a lot of nice comments on that all the time. We don't really have anything to do with it. We just plug in the cord and feed them our audio. So we don't have anything to do with that. All the credit goes to Dave Corbin and Joey Johnston. And now they've added to that list Mr. Fricks, who was out there with them today. Sam Fricks?
Yeah.
That was his first name. He was out there today doing some of the stuff on the sidelines and down close to the field. So did a tremendous job with that, and we certainly appreciate that. We also appreciate the stats that we get from Stacey Norton and, of course, Melvin Scott sitting right beside us right now. That helps out a tremendous amount.
Absolutely.
So now, this year, there's a video crew, there's a stat crew that's a part of this, and we have added our rules analyst with Steve Conrad.
And dinner.
And we've got dinner that comes through here when the games are over.
They
which
treat
is
us
really
well
nice.
here.
They really do.
Yeah.
Very welcome. It's always a lot of fun to be at Darlington. And I'd be remiss if I did not mention our executive producer, even though she's not at the games with us, Gina Conrad, Steve's wife, because she kept us straight and Steve and his broadcast team straight for many years doing this. So she's still, without a doubt, our executive producer on this, even though she's not here at the game. So, anyway, that's going to put a wrap on it. Darlington falls short tonight. 28-10 was the final score, losing to North Cobb Christian, but you just kind of pick up the pieces and move on and get ready for next week. We're going to be at the Walker School down in Marietta facing the Wolverines to close out the regular season. Toe meets leather at 7:30. We'll get started at 7 o'clock with the pregame, have an interview with Coach Atha and get things rolling there. But with that said, for Ian Griffin, I'm Matt Davis. We'll send it back to the studio for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. Guys, you get it a little bit early tonight. Take it away.
All right. Well, Matt, that one didn't go the way we wanted it to.
No.
Started with a bang.
Yeah. And when they recovered that onside kick, I thought, man, it is on.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, man, they just can't seem to get off to a good start in these games.